always say no. Always say no.
It's the best advice you could give anyone.
Never agree.
I was just talking to somebody the other day. They go, why did I say yes to this? Why did I say yes?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody goes through that every day.
Yeah.
People cannot say no. It's so impossible.
Well, if you're turning down a lot, it's a rhythm thing. No.
But at least you're known as someone that says no.
How many podcasts do you turn down in a year? 300.
I don't want to.
Over 1,000?
Over 1,000.
I don't want to sound immodest.
2,000?
There is, listen, Nancy Reagan had it right. Just say no. And no one listened.
Yeah, completely.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She was right on a lot.
She was talking about drugs.
Well, can I do my Reagan?
He got his Reagan in.
By the way,
early.
I'll sit here for an hour and just listen to you.
Well, I like this rhythm. I'll see if you like this rhythm. It's Reagan dealing with modern enemies, right? Who are they? What? Tell who? Benny what? What they do? To who? Where? When? How? Why? Well, then we have no choice. Fire away with everything we got, and then call them and see if they're still there. There. That was it. I made Larry David laugh.
I've got one for you that if you can do, I would just ask you to do it every time I saw you.
Okay.
A younger Biden, not the old Biden, a younger Biden. With that Baltimore.
I don't have one of those.
That Baltimore accent.
I know. Well, that's very specific.
You know that accent I'm talking about? They did it in that series. What was it called with Kate Winslet?
Oh, yeah.
This
something. Mayor.
Yeah. And they had that.
No, I know. It's very
all
subtle.
had that accent. He's got some of that.
Right. This never doesn't get a laugh in stand-up. And I'll do it over and over again to the audience.
Yeah.
No, I'm being serious. And I say to the audience, I will keep doing it until you don't laugh. No, I'm kidding around here. Yeah. I'm being serious. So,
see, you're so lucky that you can do that stuff. Because
I don't have jokes.
Well, I mean, if something you do isn't working, then you make them laugh again. You always have a laugh at your disposal.
For sure.
Most stand-ups don't have that laugh at their disposal all the time.
It's terrifying to go up, and if you don't have a go-to something.
Right.
Dana's got great stuff. And also, you can put a 10% joke in an impression, and it's worth 100%.
Yeah. And just ride the rhythm. I put on my notes, stay here. Don't be in a hurry. Stay here. If it says Ross Perot, you're going to do him for or Anthony
every
Fauci.
Every president since Calvin Coolidge, he does, and the crowd's like, yeah, they freak out.
But a young Biden, that's a challenge.
Yeah. You do FDR?
Now I'm doing JFK. Yeah. We don't do it because my bit on JFK now is that he needs an AI, Bobby needs an AI, that his voice will then go to JFK's voice.
Oh, Bobby's?
Yeah, because we all sound like Bobby if we smoked pot in high school. It'd be like, I can't believe what the pharmaceutical companies are doing. Introducing JFK AI. We understand that the pharmaceutical companies are doing. I'm just going to do this all afternoon.
Oh, come on! I'm thoroughly entertained. I would pay to sit
I have to finish the line
to listen to this. Go ahead.
See if you can say we don't do it because it's easy. We do it because it's hard. We're the right age group.
Yeah.
Crickets up here. Yes. So
you're settled in.
You said yes. You're here. Do you need anything?
I'll open some water here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We got you some of the high fancy water from your rider.
Has any human performer?
How about those people who they want like grape jelly or something?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen your rider? I don't know if you do a lot of stand-up. Have you ever seen your rider?
What are you demanding?
Me neither.
I feel like yours is a little below J-Lo, but above Chris Kattan.
Let's see.
I've had people in tears coming at me. I'm coming backstage for the gig. We only have 3 towels.
Yeah.
I go,
we couldn't find Triscuits.
I didn't see my rider. Anyway.
I don't like to eat anything at all before I'm going on somewhere.
Not even a little bit of a bite of chocolate.
No, nothing.
You still do stand-up? Do you go out and do like an hour?
No, last year I did, I was interviewed
Mhm.
on stage.
on stage.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Cha-ching.
One of like these bullshit things.
Yeah, something like this. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the best though because it's not really.
Yeah, it's not stand up.
It's not that hard.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard before the pandemic, Julie Louis-Dreyfus. Remember her? You know her.
Yeah.
She
Right.
was doing interviews.
Check out the call sheet. You'll remember.
She was doing interviews for corporate events. I thought, oh man, that's so nice. 20 minutes with the CEO.
Yeah.
She
What's
rakes
the
it in.
question that makes you the happiest, and what's the question that is annoying for you? I think I have an idea.
I think now the most annoying question is, are you going to do another season?
Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, now that we're here,
Did you just say yes at the end? Meaning you are? You're not, are you? I didn't know that your special was named Curb Your Enthusiasm. Is that true? Your stand-up
Yeah.
special?
I
And then you
saw
borrowed
it.
that. Yeah. You took that in. And was it 2000? Has it been around that long?
Yeah.
Mhm.
God dang.
2000.
And you've had people on Curb that went on to be bigger stars. You actually got them early.
Yeah. Who?
I'm asking you. Me?
Well, that's exciting. But
No, I do have a Curb story for you.
Yeah.
You might have heard it because you were part of it, but Dana, I did this young man's show. It was one of the great fun things of life is to be on a show that's a fucking hit show everyone loves. Right up, everyone's sensibility. Everyone in the future goes, oh, I want to do a show like Curb. That's the most common thing I hear. It's 10 times more complicated than they can probably think. It seems very easy, looks easy. I think the fun part when I did it was the idea was I don't know if you remember this, you did so many, but you wanted tickets to a Laker game. And you used to work at NBC, so you asked the president of NBC, and they have 2 sets. This is, I think, true anyway. So they say, yes, give Larry 2 tickets. So you go with Jeff, and you're in the rafters. And then you get the binoculars to see, oh, they have 2 sets of tickets. And then you go, who's on the floor where we wanted to be? And he's sitting with me.
Right.
And so you're like, that motherfucker, why is Spade down there? And why are we up here? I was on Seinfeld. So anyway, we run into you guys leaving. And the part that I thought was interesting, I didn't even tell Dana this, but it's like the way I remember it was someone comes up to me and I think we have the forum or wherever it is. And I think, and that's how big of a production is. You have that, you have extras. We did some at a real game. I think we used those Endeavor seats or whatever, William Morris. And then, so we were at the real game. And then afterwards we get a bunch of extras to stay. And so we were leaving. So me and that president of NBC are leaving and Larry's coming out with Jeff. And they come up to me and they go, you're going to run into him. So be apologetic. Something like that. It was just an idea. No lines. And then I go, and what's Larry doing? They go, you'll find out. So then you guys decide what you want to do. Obviously you decide. And so we come in and we have like a 5-minute talk where I'm like, sorry. Because you're like, why would he be there? I'm like, I don't want to be a part of this, whatever. Then they go cut and then they come back and they go, this one, defend yourself. And it's so funny because you have 5 seconds. So I'm like, well, whatever happens. And I don't know what you're going to do. And then you're like, why would he be there? I'm like, well, we both were on big shows. And you're like, well, I was on Seinfeld. I go, well, listen, we're both top 10 shows. We're both, it's kind of a push. And you're like, a push? Well, just shoot me was the same as, so anyway, it just makes for a fun, real, fake argument, whatever. And then they did like 1 or 2 more of different things. It was a blast.
David?
It's
It's very interesting, honestly, for people to know that because the hard part for Larry is to go in there and decide which is the funniest version, what line. That's just so complicated.
The greatest part I love is when I can tell that you or the great Richard Lewis or Jeff Garland, you're not sure you're doing a take because you're just talking and you might use it, you might not.
Right.
I mean, it's the absolute opposite of a traditional, Larry Sanders was the first that I had an experience like that.
First of all, I never would have done a show if I had to memorize lines.
Smart.
It's too hard.
It's I don't like it, and I'm not really an actor. And you have to be you have to be an actor to memorize lines. I suppose I could do it, but it wouldn't be fun. Here, I'm kind of making it up as we're going along, and I don't know. It's just I just laughed my way through 12 seasons.
I know it's infectious to watch. The last 20 years, I don't think I've ever gone to any kind of meeting about any kind of show where, it's going to be like Curb or we're thinking like a Curb type show. Has anyone even landed close to the sensibility? And what is the secret? You don't have to tell us here.
Yeah.
You can cut this part out.
If
there is like one secret.
Tell us who's done it poorly first.
Who's doing it? I don't even know who's doing it.
The only thing I can think of is Larry Sanders in the 90s had a sense of 3 cameras going at all times, 16 millimeters, and Gary would say, you do this, kind of, or say something like this, you know.
Oh, did they improvise a lot?
At least when I was there.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was quite like yours, where like you're so improvised. Whatever you have, it's working. Don't even.
Yeah.
Hey, are you going to do another season?
No. Is there anybody you asked to do Curb that didn't do it? Like some star that you wanted?
I think there were some people who weren't down with the idea of improvising.
Yeah. Some would like to do the lines. They'd be more comfortable.
More comfortable.
It's hard to make lines your own. That's hard when you're doing shows and movies. That's why they sometimes feel stiff, because if you can just play off what's happening at that second and the attitude, that's way more fun. It is hard to do, though.
I mean, the worst thing that actors did on the show is if they would try to be funny.
Yeah. Or they come and going, I'm funny.
Trying to come up with like funny lines.
No.
Yeah.
The hardest part I've seen, even on like for Adam on Sandler and those movies, is a lot of people that come on that have never worked with them. First of all, proclaim their funniness, which is always a red flag. And then they come up and say, I had some ideas for the scene. And it's for you to be the creator, and you can't blame anyone else, and you have to say no. So when they come to you and go, Larry, I thought I'd play it more. I got a guy that talks like this, and you got to go, oh, fuck. Can you just don't do that? It's a hard position to be in.
No, it's very easy.
Okay. I was trying to help you a little bit.
It's not hard at all. No, that's not good. Don't do that. Okay.
I've got 2.
I wouldn't. Yeah.
And they would slink away and go, fuck.
Sometimes at auditions, actors would try and cry. I go, oh God, no, stop, no.
Oh man, the 2 metrics now. Never have a line that's written that someone has to say. Yeah. And don't anybody ever be caught trying to be funny. Right. Unless the character is trying to be funny.
Yeah,
exactly. That's different. But none of that winking. It's a real Rubicon. And you can really feel it in sitcoms when it's just pushed.
Well, I like
you
the
did
stuff.
good. I'm just saying I'm a fan.
The stuff that's played like in a wide shot is always good. Sometimes you get on a movie and they go, Dana and I talk about this, you get too locked into 2-shot, 1-shot, pushing, and you're losing all the momentum and all the fun of it, and it looks too stiff, back, forth, back. Sometimes it's nice, those old Woody Allen or whatever, even Tarantino in a wide shot, just 2 people talking, looks real. You've got to figure out where to look instead of going, look here, look there, we got it. We've seen it.
The Woody Allen thing is a little scary. Because I did.
Oh, you did a couple.
What was the name of that movie?
It's called
A Couple, Dana.
Yeah. Whatever.
Woody Allen.
Yeah. Anyway, I did one.
Once upon.
He doesn't remember.
And, because he does these you got to get it all in one.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole take, I'm going, I got 4 more lines to go. I'm not comfortable at all because you can't make a mistake. There's no cutting.
Yeah.
After my first take, the first day of filming, after the first take, he comes up to me and he goes, not terrible. And now I use that every time somebody asks me, how you doing? I go, not terrible.
Yeah.
That's a good
medium place to be.
Robert Mitchum told me that the guy who played Tarzan, because Robert Mitchum was a guest host, and he was the host at SNL. I go, hey, how you doing today? He goes, worse. I go, worse? Why do you say worse? Because I think it was Lex Barr, some guy who played Tarzan. He came out of his trailer and said, I feel great, and then did a header, So ever since then, he just says worse.
I love that.
Oh, you did Tough Guys? Is that the one?
I did so much shit. I was so bad. I have a Hall of Fame.
So bad.
I can't say lines 175 times. Between all the takes and all the close-ups, and by 4 p.m, you first said the lines at 7 a.m., and by 5 o'clock, it's not even English.
Going in tight on Dana.
You guys got some heads of hair on you, the 2 of you,
Best hair money combined.
When did you know, did you ever think like, I'm going to have all of my hair for the rest of my life? Did that thought occur to you at some point?
Yes. I had a pretty good head of hair. First of all, it went way up in these corners that are covered right now. when I was in my 20s. So I went to a barber. He goes, you're going to be gone by 30.
What? Really?
Yeah, barber. Guy, he saw it going back. But it went back and then it stopped.
Wow.
Very rare.
And then I do take a little finasteride.
What's that?
I'm sorry?
It's stuff that keeps your hair.
Formaldehyde? What does that do?
Keeps your hair in your head.
Really?
Yeah. Matthew McConaughey does it. All right.
Dude, I grew up, I put motor oil. Everything I could find, I threw in my hair, just trying every trick in the book. It's so horrible.
But let me just explain that because we'll get letters, old-fashioned parlance.
Go ahead.
Dosage matters with any med you take. I had this woman, she was trying to do super vegan and she was emaciated. She was 87. I go, you could have some salmon. Oh, no, I can't. Well, I tried a statin and I had terrible side effects. Would you ever think of taking a lower dose? Ask your doctor. So she lowered the dose, took her cholesterol down, no side effects. So the same thing with finasteride. People were popping it like candy. Then they had sexual side effects, depression. You just need a little bit to keep the hair in your head, and it will grow hair.
I don't get it. You had to give her that advice? What? The doctor couldn't tell her that?
She couldn't read the back of the
bottle. Doctors are not really, most of them are just high school seniors that have a lab coat on. They don't know anything, most of them. They're terrible. I mean, right? I mean, do you?
What, doctors?
Yeah.
I still have great faith in them.
Yeah, Dana.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I look at you the whole
They're doctors, Dana. Doctors.
I know. I used to bow down. We were talking about to a contractor or a landscape architect. We'll put a big tree right in the middle of the grass. Why? Well, you need it. No, you don't.
Well, you can never have a doctor as a friend because you'll lose all confidence. You see, they're so human. How could you?
Right.
You're kind of stupid, actually, in life.
Well, you can read the same stuff they're reading. You can read NIH, you can read Harvard, whatever. You can read everything the doctors
read. Why are you reading that?
I do.
You do?
A lot. If I have an issue of something, I'll look it up.
I asked Dana for
Don't you ever research stuff?
I don't want to read anything medical. It'll just scare me. I never look at anything medical.
Do you get this when you go to the doctor? They talk about everything jokey except for what's wrong with you. Like they come in, how's it going? What's been going on? Even on the road. And I'm like, I've been sitting here for 49 minutes waiting, and I know I've got a 6-minute window with you. Like, let's get to the stuff. And then they go, in the last second, oh, right, bend over and stick a finger in your ass. Okay, sorry, I almost forgot that part.
Did you ever do a prostate exam joke?
No.
Yes.
I didn't think you would.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate
the cheesiest one that always gets, I've never done one. I've never written one, but the one that made me laugh the most was, look, Ma, no hands.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a stock joke. It wasn't mine.
Yeah.
No, the joke that you try to bury into real life is when I was playing the Mirage, I go, David Copperfield was in the steam room. I milk it out so long, and they go, he was in the steam room? And I go, yeah. And he's sitting next to me, but his towel slid off. He was just sitting there weird. And he goes, hey, I go, can you do magic now that you have nothing here? And he goes, yeah. And I go, it's not real. And he goes, all right, quickly. He goes, get up. He gets behind me. And he goes, all right, do you feel my thumb in your ass? And I go, yeah. And he goes, ta-da. Reaches around me. So it was sort of magic.
That's funny. Did you ever do a Hitler joke? You do a lot of Hitler jokes. I'm not talking about the editorial, but just because everyone has a Hitler joke. What's your best Hitler joke?
I did. I used to do one in stand-up. It had to do with about Hitler going to a magic show.
That's
already fun. Anything Hitler does is fun.
And he goes backstage after, and he's very insistent on finding out where the rabbit is. And magicians have a code. They can't tell how the tricks are done.
Right.
And Hitler's going, "Where's the rabbit? I'm very curious. Where's the rabbit?" And he goes, "Well, mein Führer, we're not really allowed to. It's a code amongst me." Yes, but where is the rabbit? It was something like that. Yeah, I forgot the rest of it.
Where was it?
Did you do that in the 99 special?
I did.
Yes, I remembered it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a Hitler joke?
Write one. I don't think I have one because, I did have a book when I did my first book. Oh, a couple people remember? Thank you. I used a picture of me when I was 5 years old. My mom had me in a little blue suit with white hair down to here. And it was a weird shot down on me in front of my old apartments. And I'm just standing so stiffly that I said, what if we called the book Mr. Hitler Will See You Now? Because I was like a 5-year-old kid, looked like a little Aryan. And it got universally no. So, and I'm kind of glad because I sort of skim over stuff. I'm from Arizona. We were never into religion. We were never into many things that could be very offensive. Mm-hmm. And so we joked about everything, racism, all this. So sometimes I would stumble in my act and say things too far, and someone would pull me aside and say, I wouldn't say that anymore. And I wouldn't know how deep these things went or hit. And I'd be like, okay. So it took me a while. Even on that one, it was a little late in the game. But to even say I should do that. But Hitler gets thrown around and it offends too many people. I'm not Jewish.
I did a Hitler bit. I was doing a benefit for Cedars-Sinai cardiology department, and I did a Hitler bit. A guy had actually put a stent in my chest. Goes, do you know where you are? You know, and do you want to hear it?
Yeah, go.
It's not a bit. It's an observation because I thought I don't have any original observation about Hitler, and then I thought of one, and I want you to tell me you've never heard it before, hopefully, or you've heard it before. All we do is see Hitler throughout history screaming, I the son of a Wolverine. We never see him talking normal. We do this for a living. He must be exhausted backstage, just wiped out, almost effeminate. Yeah. Oh, Himmler. I can't feel my deltoid. Whoever said to do this, shoot him.
He gets off stage and goes to the green room, and he's like, they were good. They were pretty good. He's
but
back
just
to his
exhausted Hitler Langeres, gutting my little Luftwaffe man.
Yeah, that's great.
Don't fat shame yourself. I have a cookie. I eat it. I put the plate down. You have a good cookie. Your brain throws a party. You have 100 cookies. So he breaks down, addiction to carbohydrates.
That's funny.
Okay.
Hitler's green room. What's on his rider? Mm-hmm. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I look at my notes. There's literally no notes to ask you anything. It's two. Go ahead, Dana.
Whatever you got.
Well, I know this will make you happy. Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
New York Knicks.
Yes. Right in the throes
Stephen
of
A.
it.
Smith and LeBron. Who would win if they went? Because we think we know, but Stephen A. Smith isn't tiny. I mean, I would get snapped in half by LeBron.
Hey, Stephen A. Smith would get snapped in half.
Yeah.
LeBron is a beast, man.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
I don't know. He's 40 years old. It's just incredible what he's doing.
Yeah.
If I had that money, I think, and he's already like such a perfect specimen athlete, I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would obviously pour it back into trying to stay alive till I'm 100. I look at Brad Pitt and I go, I don't know what's going on, but if no one's going to get to regular Brad Pitt. He looks even better now. I'm like, fuck that. That's like cheating. Because he could have been fine skating along. And if he did say, I don't say he did because mostly just jealousy and anger. But if he did something, I'm flying to that guy and just saying, do whatever you got to do. Because someone told me on my comments, it looks like I slept on my face. And those sting, Larry. You're supposed to let them go. And
well, you look kind of the same.
Yeah, you look the same.
For like 45 years. Because when did your hair? But when did it go white? How old?
It probably started in my probably in my late 30s.
Wow. Okay, that was a joke. So, no, but Steve Martin, the same thing.
Yeah.
He looks kind of the same.
Steve Martin was like 12.
I'm working on this baby face with bangs. I'm going to be 70 in a month.
Keep the hair messy.
Really? You're going to be 70 in a month?
Yes. Thank you, Larry.
Wow.
For being surprised.
He didn't
I'm very
even
surprised.
comment you
Isn't
at
that
all.
a great compliment when people are surprised
Yeah.
when you tell them your age?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. But when you tell them eventually you say I'm going to be 70 a month, they go, oh. And you're like, really? I just know. Yeah. He looks,
The worst is
can I get a, really? Andy Samberg said, you're going to be 70? I go, thank you, Andy.
Yeah, it's a great compliment.
Okay, I have something you may not have heard before. Tell me
Sure.
if you have. Carol Leifer was on our show.
Okay.
And she talked about you and Jerry, the dynamic. And she said, you're John Lennon and Jerry is Paul McCartney. Have you heard that before? You probably have heard it.
I've heard it. It's quite ridiculous, but I've heard it. Yeah.
But then it makes you unpack it a little bit in your brain. Like, well, wait a minute. How am I Strawberry Fields and he's Penny
what
Lane?
would you rather be out of those
Both
two?
geniuses.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah. I think I have a feeling our dynamic was maybe not fraught with the friction that theirs was. So,
Okay.
Well,
really
I
have
asked
that
Paul
yet.
McCartney about it, and he said, "Well, the difference was, they were doing comedy, and we were doing strumming and singing. So it's a different thing, and the analogy doesn't quite fit, Larry David looks the same for the last 40 years." I go, "I totally agree, Paul."
Were you on CBS Radford a lot?
Yeah.
That's right. I think we were there at the same time, honestly. I think Just Shoot Me, Will and Grace. I
We were
think
there
you guys.
up until 98.
What was the call sheet? What was the order of the cast?
Have no idea.
Larry,
Never looked at it.
tell me.
You mean the Seinfeld call sheet?
Jerry,
Honest to God,
one.
I never looked at it once.
What do you think it was, Dana?
I assume it'd have to be Jerry.
And then we'll keep going.
I mean, it's a good question.
What's those four in a row?
I never looked at it.
Julie Louise Dreyfus, number
Two?
Number
She was
two.
probably a bigger name, right? When it
Well,
started?
Julie wasn't in the pilot. Jason was in the pilot.
Oh, he might have inched
So
ahead
maybe
and
he
leaned at
inched
the
ahead
tape and got
because
to
of
number
that.
two.
Yeah.
I was not an early adopter. I was being wined and dined by NBC to do the Letterman slot, Warren Littlefield, and having lunch with
You
him.
mean a talk show host?
Yeah, they
You
wanted.
were gonna be a host on television.
Yeah, I know. It seems amazing.
He'd be great.
It wouldn't work at all. This is my first.
No, he'd be great.
Well, maybe if you had David as the co-host, it might have worked.
We would
He
need
would
both
have been
of
my
us.
Andy Richter. No, but basically they said, we have this new show. I think only 4 had been made or something. It's called Seinfeld, and we think it's going to be really big. And they told me about it and who was in it, and I just thought to myself, oh boy, that's not going to happen.
Bomb.
That doesn't sound like a winner.
Yeah, I
agree with that?
Whatever I'm involved in, I never thought would work.
Mhm.
So no, I thought it would be gone very quickly. I was just doing it for the pilot. I would
Sure.
do a pilot, get
Mhm.
paid for the pilot,
Right.
and then that would be it.
Yeah, the chance of pilots going are so slim,
Yeah.
especially. And you're coming off SNL then? Was that SNL to that? So it's
SNL was
later.
84, 85.
How'd that go?
Oh, swimmingly.
Well, you made up for it.
it just shows that you just don't know. You need the right situation or whatever, because for you not to do great on that show and then you go off and do, well, some people do that. They have trouble there and they go off and do great.
It didn't really bother me that much.
Mm.
I got one sketch on for the
Not
For the
great.
season.
for the season.
Yeah.
I got one sketch on. It's like, and it reminded me a bit of a stand-up in a way when I'd be waiting to go on, and then I don't know, somebody famous would come in, and
Yeah.
I'd get bumped and bumped again, and I was actually glad I got bumped because I didn't want to go on anyway. I was happy. I was happy not to go on, and so I don't know. Writers make such a big deal about if their sketch was going to be on. I didn't really care that much.
Yeah.
It didn't really bother me.
Well, when I was there writing, all I cared about was getting picked up again for the next year because there's just no money. So I just
Right.
don't want to look like an asshole. And they'd call Gervitz and Brad Gray and go, Lauren would go, I don't know. We may bring him back. So I'd have to get rid of my apartment.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
every year I did that. And then there wasn't DoorDash, ladies. It was drag your your mattress down the stairs, and then you gotta re-put your my apartment was literally a bed, a desk, anything I could just literally carry. And then 2 months later, we'll bring him back. And then I'm like, so I got to go move back,
Mhm.
find an apartment. It's so dumb, but they like to keep you on the edge of your seat there.
So you didn't have Lauren. Lauren was not.
Oh, you
there.
didn't have Lauren.
No, I
No.
didn't have Lauren.
Oh, I was just doing an
No.
impression. It was a 10 out of 10. Unfortunately, you didn't know.
No,
Well,
but
no, he's hosted twice.
I knew you were doing Lauren. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a very subtle,
No, Dick Ebersol.
it was
Okay.
too
Was
real.
It's kind of a sporting event. Someone said about SNL. It's rock and roll. It's loud. I mean, there are subtle. Jack Handy used to do his deep thoughts, and there are subtle
Right.
sketches.
It's funny.
But I think I heard that you and Jerry just said for sure at this point, we're just going to do the show for ourselves. We're not going to try to project what the network or even the audience will like. That's what I felt that Seinfeld.
That's what we
it.
did.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but
You were at the
I remember we went out to dinner very early on, and I said I just can't. How are they letting us do this? I was shocked.
Mm. Were the audiences biting on it, though? It was in front of an audience, right?
Yeah.
They were biting, so you thought, well, something's working here.
It seemed like it.
Because when we were doing ours, I like to keep comparing like they're the exact same. When we were doing ours or any sitcom, they would do it, and then it would get a medium laugh, and then we liked it all week. The people that we thought were funny to each other, and then they go, listen, the youth prisoners that they bust in for the show aren't biting on this one, so let's dumb it down a little bit. And then I go, well, let's not wind up with the one that these guys like, because we believed in these jokes, and then they're scrambling and trying stuff. I'm like, then I don't even know what winds up on the show, but you go, you can't do that. Like, it's better to have something where you just pick it and say, this is our style, this is our vibe, like it or not.
It was new, and we've gone through Cheers, Mary Tyler Moore, MASH, all these brilliant sitcoms, half-hour shows, and all of a sudden, there's a show with a puffy jacket or a soup Nazi. It just was instantly a different sensibility when I saw it. And I saw at least 13 of them. I don't know how many I've seen, but
we didn't even know how to write a sitcom. We'd never done it before.
You didn't have bad habits.
That's good. You didn't know how to do a bad one.
And there was no writer's room.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we didn't have a writer's room.
Who wrote? Well, we knew some SNL people that wrote on there, but was it? I heard the idea was people would walk into a cold, like, freezer room, and then it was you sitting there in a chair in the dark, and they would pitch.
And then I was always very nice.
If you didn't like it, you would hear shame, and they'd walk out. But they said it was. They make it more than it is. They probably, because they go, we'd have to wait, and then we go in and pitch, and then Larry would just shake us.
And you have a big laugh, and so they loved it if they could make.
If they
could make Larry laugh in the pitch.
I was always very nice to everyone who came in.
I could imagine.
You're a good crowd right now. You're very open. When I see you out in the world, I don't see that much, but you always seem very loose and friendly. And there's no people. I think people think of this curmudgeon thing that's like a little. Because it's from the show.
Character.
That's me. This is the act. Yeah.
Do more people talk to you? What do they talk to you about in order? They know you. Is it Seinfeld or is it Curb or is it something else?
Now?
Yeah.
Well, now it's Curb.
It's just Curb all the time. It's Curb, Seinfeld. Curb, Seinfeld.
Was Jerry ever like
Good question.
being sort of a stoic? You know, he doesn't like people being neurotic and creating problems. Because I've gotten to know him a little bit. I did comedians in cars and stuff. And so then I realized when he is abrupt about that, he's really slightly annoyed that someone would create a problem, out of nothing. So he would I'd say, I don't know about my act. How do you write new jokes? Just write them. It was like, And at first I was like, is this guy aggressive? No, just do it. He doesn't like neurotic comedians going, I don't want to play that club. Don't play it. I mean, does he like that with you? I mean, once I understood where he was coming from, we had him in here and I totally got it. He does not like problems that don't need to exist. And he just, no.
Yeah, I like this stance when I said he doesn't do that many specials. And I said, all the comics now, they do a special for an hour and then they have to throw away the material. And he goes, why do they have to throw it away? I go, I don't want to throw it. I go, I have stuff that takes so long to sharpen it and get it to fucking work. And when I go on the road, they want to see a show that works. I don't want to start from scratch. And he goes, listen. He talks to me like I'm a child. He goes, listen, don't throw it away. He goes, do the jokes that work. He goes, people think they have too many jokes that work. He said, when you boil it down, every great comic probably has an hour 15 in their whole career. That's just killers. And I think Leno's like that too. They just boil down to like, get what works and do it. And if some of them are great jokes, it's like songs. I like that. I like when someone does something I like, especially a comic. I go, this is my favorite one. I'm glad they're doing it. I don't want to see, because specials get watered down over time. And I'm like, another one? What the fuck? What do you got left in the tank?
There's two jokes of Jerry that still stick with me. One was the moose gets lifted out of Alaska and it's up in the sky and it wakes up. And what does the moose think? I guess I can fly now. I just thought that was a great one. And then the eulogy one. You know the eulogy one.
What's that one?
The number one fear of all human beings is public speaking. So at any funeral, the person giving the eulogy would rather be in the casket. It's a great joke.
That's good.
Yeah. So you had a great partner, and he had a great partner.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Yeah. But you'll be remembered for Curb. My point is this. No, I don't know. Curb's
Dana,
20
do an
seasons.
impression.
Do an impression. You did Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your memory of that? I just did Biden.
Yeah.
Where I was like, I don't know.
There was a debate in 2000. The election was 2016.
And Bernie was running. Hillary was running.
Yeah. So there was a debate.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think it was probably, I think the debate was 2015.
Yeah.
And so when Bernie Sanders started to talk,
Mm-hmm.
everything he was saying, I would repeat. I don't know if you ever do that.
Sometimes.
All of a sudden, because he sounded so familiar to me because we're both from Brooklyn,
Right.
that I was able, in a way, to just tap into, the way he talked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he would say something and I would repeat it. And then my agent
Mm-hmm.
called me when the debate was over just to talk about it. Ari Emanuel, he said, "Did you see that?" I said, "Of course I saw it. What do you think? What do you think?" And he goes, "Oh, okay, I'm calling Lorne Michaels."
Perfect.
Oh.
Yeah.
5 minutes later, Lorne is on the phone with Ari, and that was on a Tuesday, and on Saturday I'm doing the show.
Oh, fun.
So you have the 84 experience. Then all of a sudden, 2015, you come on, you do Bernie, and it is a smash. I mean, it's like, oh my God, of course, Larry David.
Oh,
and you
fun.
killed. Must have been fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everything you said, you got to laugh.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Did you go to the 50th? You went to the 40th. You did a lot in the 40th, I thought.
I went to the 40th
Yeah.
and I was in the audience and I did some bit in the audience.
Yeah.
And the 50th, I went, but I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But I got sick at both of them.
Okay, good.
The 40th.
Even the COVID in 2015? What would you
in
get?
2015, I got sick at the 40th.
Yeah.
And I was doing a play at the time.
Mm.
And I had to do the play with like 102 temperature,
Ouch.
because you got to go on.
It's so gross to be like, I got to go on. You
horrible.
feel bad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got sick again at the 50th. Got the flu, I think.
Something must be there. When I hosted last time, I got sick during dress. The worst fucking anxiety-riddled time. In the middle of a sketch, they go, come on. And I stood up as in like a UPS outfit. And I go, and then I sat back down on the set and they go, come on. The band's like, ba-da-ba. You got 90 seconds. And I go, I don't feel good. And then I laid down on the floor and everyone's like, what the fuck is going on? So they walked me to the dressing room, put me in the bathroom. I lay on the floor and the audience is still there.
Wow.
So it was the last sketch. They just wrapped and they let everyone out. And then they're pounding on the door going, and I hear him going, if he doesn't come out, we're going to have to put a rerun on. We got to tell NBC. And I'm laying on the floor sweating. I don't know if I was food poisoning.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started barfing. And then I just sat there in my UPS uniform going, there could be more stress. Already you're sick. And everyone, including Lauren, is behind the door going, are we doing this? It's fine if we're not. We just have to. And so I finally get the door and I go, I mean, I can try. And then they go, all right, let's pull the rerun. Let's just try it. And
Wow.
I started to feel a little better. And I got some food in me. And I was like, I don't know what happened. I got the whammy. And then I did a good solid 70% I gave. And the guy in the UPS sketch, the writer, I could see him in the back going, yeah, you're a real fucking hero. Because obviously that sketch got cut because I don't think I even finished it. You know what I mean?
The thing about it, when I was doing it and I was sick,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember thinking during the middle of it, I don't feel sick. I don't, something.
Yeah, your adrenaline maybe or something. Yeah.
That's
over.
remarkable. I felt like Fraser in the 15th round last time I hosted. Like, really? Now? Can I do this? And then the same thing. Just pass
Once
off
you get
dog.
out
You hear
there.
the applause, the laughs. I
Yeah,
mean, your
yeah.
hosting was good experiences, or was it not really?
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay.
What did Lauren give you a thumbs up,
I
or
love
what did
it.
Lauren say to you?
Well, they invited me to do it again, so I guess it wasn't a total bomb. But I had, the hardest part was having to prepare a monologue.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't been on in a long time.
And they expect the world from you.
So I had to write a monologue and then do it in different clubs.
Oh, you had to go out.
Yeah, that was.
It's a lot of work. Just do Q&A with the cast.
Yeah,
you know,
that's the cheat. That's
fake
the
out.
trick.
Singing would have been funny.
Yeah.
I like in a club, they go, we have a guest here, Larry David, and you walk up. So dogs are funny, and everyone's like, what's he doing?
And then a half hour before the show at 11 o'clock, I was called up to Lauren's office, and the censor was there.
Oh.
And the censor said that I couldn't do this. I couldn't do this bit.
Oh, at 11?
Yeah, at 11 o'clock.
Fuck off.
And there are 2 bits they didn't want me to do.
Whoa, come on.
Oh, please.
And then I went,
well, the other one, whatever.
I'm gonna do it.
You're not going to do it?
Well, you said you're going to.
I said, no, I'm going to.
Oh, you said you're going to do it.
I said, yeah. No, I can't. I said, I can't. I have to do it.
Well, you have nothing.
And I go, what? Why is it offensive? I don't get it. Who's going to be offended by this? Lauren, after 5 minutes of this, said, I can't do them. But he said, like, he said to the censor, I don't think you're going to win this one. Yeah.
Oh, he said to the censor?
He said that to the censor, yeah.
I don't think you're going to win this one.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Let's get Larry to make up.
Like, you can only take so much from a Larry David.
We've wasted Larry's time enough. Let him go down.
Check his celebrity net worth, and you'll see that he truly is.
When I hosted, great story about me. We can cut this out. We already did? No, when I hosted, it was, Sandler was in my trick monologue. I'm only telling you this because it's kind of similar where he's the audience member, but he's playing a goofy guy that he used to do. So he was there that weekend. He goes, I'll come and we'll do that. That'll be your monologue. So I can worry about the 13 sketches that are about to bomb. And so that morning, Saturday, they say, Adam goes, I got a Waterboy open that weekend big, and he had to fly back to LA. And he goes, I can't do it, pal. I was like, oh, shit. So I couldn't cover it because it was his character. And I'm like, well, what's my monologue? And then we're like, okay, rehearsal. And I'm like, going, guys, I got to get a monologue at one of the breaks. And they go, and everyone does just do stand up. But I hadn't done it for a while, and I definitely hadn't done a club or anything. So there's no practice, which you need a little. Even when we were at the 50th, I just did a set with Chris Rock and Nate Bargatze just for fun because we were out having dinner. And they go, oh, Mulaney and Steve Martin and Martin Short were just here doing stand-up. They all came in, everyone did a set. Just like everyone bumped. Super fun night. But I don't get to do that. So I just go, oh, I have this one in my act about a polar bear and about this other one. And then they go, just do that. So the only time I rehearsed it was at dress or right before dress, to try it. But I couldn't really remember it all. And then I had to sit in my dressing room and go, well, how does that one go? So scary. It went all right, but I know the monologue. It's all.
How come you didn't get them on cards?
I got it. Oh, because I had to tell cards what to put. And I just said, just forget it. Just put monkey, joke, polar bear.
Oh, okay.
And go to a commercial when I start fucking crying.
I don't like stand-up either. I mean, honestly, if any time a show was canceled, I was happy.
You're happy, right?
But if I go up and I'm killing, I go, well, this is kind of fun. But I never want to go. And I don't
I'm exactly the same way.
I never want to be in a de facto comedy competition. Go to the Comedy Store. There's 10 comics. I'm going to try new stuff. They're doing their A stuff. Lean into it. And I just don't like the people. You were one of the best tonight. I mean, what do I need that for? I'm just like you.
Do you do corporates? Do they call you to come in? Oh,
they're fun.
Somebody's got enough money.
No, I don't get asked.
Oh yeah, it would be
really.
Fun.
I'm going to talk to my people. Have you ever been in a headlock by another adult male as an adult? Because the CEO was drunk and had me at a corporate event. The church lady fucking guy.
It's funny you should ask me that because at the 50th, I was introduced to Paul McCartney, and I said to him,
"Has anyone ever?"
No, I said to him, "Has anyone ever punched you in the mouth?"
Instead of hello, we love all your albums.
I said, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been hit in the face with a fist? Has anybody ever punched you?
That's fucking great.
And he must have loved it.
Oh, wait, we were at dinner.
What did he say?
Yeah, the dinner. Yeah.
You were sitting right next to Paul.
Yeah.
You were hilarious. He was a good laugher, too.
Yeah.
He was into it. I think he likes having
He's
these.
a charmer. I mean, but what did he say after you said it? He just started laughing?
No, he did. There was an incident. There was an incident. There was an incident in his youth when he was like 13 or 14, and somebody headbutted him. He told me.
He's so charming. There's something on YouTube, you can look it up, but McCartney's going into a nightclub with people. This is like with 5 years in LA. The doorman doesn't recognize him. And they no, you can't go. And then you hear Paul say, "We've got to write more songs. we better go back to the drawing board. We're not big enough."
We're not famous enough.
So anyway,
that was a night.
I'm going to ask him.
I was sitting next to Chris Rock, and I came late. And I felt embarrassed, but I was 100% not invited. I was meeting for dinner, and he goes, "Just come here." And then I realized I was crashing at dinner. He was invited to, or something, whatever. So anyway, I went in. Paul was very nice. Whoever threw that thing, just like 10 people, but. The funny part was I was sitting just where I could see kind of between, you guys are on the same side as me. So I'm trying to crank my head between Chris and you and see Paul. And here you guys. And Larry's killing. And then every time Paul gets to a story where he says something like I told you, where he's everybody stops. Yesterday, the way I came up with it was one night when I was dreaming, the guy goes, "What potato skins?" And then he leaves and I go, and then he's putting the shit down. He goes, "Top off your water, top off." And I'm like, I'm trying to, and then he goes, I go, "It's a 1/4 inch. We're topped off." And he's like, "I got a little more in there." Then he comes out and I go, and he goes, "And that's how I came with yesterday." And I go, "Uh-huh." Then he goes, "The last thing John ever said to me, hey, coconut shrimp, hot plate. And I'm like, God damn, dude, I'm missing this thing I couldn't pay enough to hear Paul McCartney.
The dichotomy between how humble and Liverpudlian he is and the genius of the music. We sat down here for a plonk, John and I, like looking in a mirror. And that's how we came up with Abbey Road, We just plonked. It's like, what the fuck?
What about Lennon? What would he say?
What would he say? Yeah. Well, let's see. John Lennon, John would be more nasal, Paul was always one of those. Ringo's more like peace and love. They were me brothers. They're me brothers, They're me brothers, peace and love. Can you say anything else? No, me brothers, me love. And then Paul's like this. And George is sort of languorous, sort of laid back. They were the primary songwriters for me. They were my brothers, Oh, we love it. So anyway, I'm obsessed with him.
Too much.
I'm just trying to make you laugh because you drove 300 miles.
That was easy.
Do that Kim Kardashian one. What is that one?
Kim Kardashian one? Oh, that's why I do John Lennon talking to Paul, John from Heaven, because I want to hear them talk, And, what happened to the big orange man, Well, he's president again, but he was beat by another man, named Joe Biden, And he goes, wasn't he, what about, didn't Kanye West, what happened to him? We flew away. We don't know what happened to him. Wasn't he with a woman named Kim Kardashian? How's she doing? I'm doing the short version.
That John knows a couple little things.
They talk regularly.
A couple pop references.
Well, she's a nice gal. Well, how does she make a living? Well, she takes pictures of her bottom. What's so special about her bottom? It's not a normal bottom. It's a bottom 2.0. It's like God made a fanny and attached a person as an afterthought. The whole family has big bottoms. All of them are doing it. And if they fall on their backs, they're sort of like turtles. They can't get up again. They have to have turtle wranglers lift them up, The whole family's doing it. One gentleman got so frustrated, he became a woman. So that's a truncated version of it. Hilarious. You have a great sense of humor. Can you come back tomorrow?
Yeah. Well,
I love impressions.
Me
too. If I see someone,
them. Yeah. Bill Hader was on my show, and he was.
Oh, he's so.
Oh my God.
Did he do one of my bits? I think. Burton Kirk or Jimmy Stewart.
No, he gave you credit. He did Burton Kirk. Yeah. He gave you full credit.
I know. Yeah. It was flattering how much he loves it because I think he's absolutely brilliant, But he loves that Burton Kirk thing. So. Yeah. I want you. I want you now. Now take it easy, son. We're just two men having fun. Don't keep bucking around like that. I only got so much play down there. You keep bucking around like that.
That's so great.
I want you. What are you going to do, cowboy? Come on, I'll take you. So I do this for 20 minutes. I once had John Lovitz throw up in a parking garage because I'll do it for 20 minutes. But
because he was laughing so hard?
Because it goes on and on and on and on,
Shit.
So I keep doing bits?
No, we're doing good. I think maybe we wasted enough of his time.
I
We'll see.
mean, this is my current favorite. Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, do one more.
'Cause it's not. This is Jimmy Stewart, which I think Conan did. But trying to come up with a new Jimmy Stewart thing is that someone's going to perform oral sex on him, and he does it as Jimmy Stewart. Okay, so it's not X-rated.
Okay. I know this one too.
Yeah. All right. No. You don't touch it. What? No. Just slow down. Now I want you to slowly turn your head and look away. Yeah. That's it. Just look away. Now I want you to forget about it. Pretend you never saw it. Now, slowly, but ever slowly, turn your head back around and discover it again. That's it. That's the look I want. Just discover it. Just consider it. Now, slowly, so that's my latest toy.
That's just hilarious.
I've never done this many bits on a
good.
show.
That's so funny.
Discover it and consider it.
Well, I have one where he leaves the house. Now, I'm going to go around the corner and get a soda pop, and I want you to forget all about it. You never saw it. Then I'm going to come back, and I want you to slowly turn and discover it again, like it's brand new. Yeah. No, don't touch it. Just think about it. Now back the head up again. I'm going to back up and go out in the hallway. So I'll just go for 20 minutes.
Oh my God!
But you're the greatest audience with.
Well,
I love impressions.
that's a good closer.
I do too.
It should be your closer. That's a fucking great one.
I'm gonna edit these things together and release it as a special.
So funny. Holy cow.
Anything you need from us, Larry? You're all right.
Oh no, I'm good.
Thank you very much for coming here.
You're just an amazing guest, and I don't know what to say other than
I did the best I could.
You did great. We all didn't want to do this, and we all did it. And I think I'm proud of us all.
Did you want to go? Yes. That's all I do with Jerry.
How many podcasts are there?
Over 3 million.
Over 3 million now.
No, honestly.
No, I think there's 3 million. Yeah.
Does that seem too low?
Sounds like a joke. There's 3 million podcasts in North America.
I don't know how does everyone do it? I mean,
we Googled it, and that was over 3 million. That was about a year ago, so it's
most don't get past 30 episodes, so they come in and out, but I don't know how. Greg, here's our producer. How do they?
It seems easy. It's kind of hard to do.
Digital space is unlimited. That we can all just,
It feels like the easiest thing in the world. So if you're an actor or if you're doing anything in showbiz and things are slow, you feel like you want to do something,
right.
And then it's like when people used to watch the Kardashians, they wanted a reality show. They go, hey, I argue. I hate my family too. I yell at them in the kitchen. I could do this show. So that's what they think. And then they go to a podcast, and it's a little trickier and tougher and a lot fizzle, but some stick around. It's a little bit to it.
It's a new tech. So it's sort of like, you do the talk show and you do the pre-interview and you have 2 minutes and they're cutting. And so this is just like us hanging out. So it's this new art form of like shooting the rehearsal, doing half-baked stuff. We don't have a script. I had a few questions.
Right. It's good to have a day.
So it is fun. It can be fun, just because of the freedom of it.
Yeah, and it's great that you're doing it together.
Yeah.
I think, we get along really well.
Yeah, it's easier. And then if someone else, whoever we got here, one of us knows something about something. But we let them talk sometimes. We let you talk a little bit.
Yeah, I said a couple of things. Yeah. Feel free to cut me out of the whole thing.
We don't need too much from me.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say I watched you on Conan, and I noticed this morning, and I said, "Oh God, Larry loves to laugh." Like you're like maybe the funniest guy. Whatever. Let's just say he's arguably the funniest person in this generation. Arguably,
last 300.
You're in
years.
the conversation as the funniest person. So to make that guy laugh is just a pleasure.
You heard the Conan podcast?
Yeah. And you guys are having such a good time, and I noticed because I haven't hung out with you a lot. I just said Larry loves to laugh.
Yeah.
And so that's why I just thought I'd do a few things.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Anyway, by the way, when I did Curb, and this is the last thing I'll say, you had to cut some stuff out, and you called me because it's very tough to call someone telling me you had to cut something. So he told me, and the funniest part was I said, okay, well, I had a great time, and thanks for putting me on there, and then you felt guilty, and you go, now I feel bad. And I go, well, I understand it. And they go, are you being sarcastic? I go, no, I know that these shows go long and we ad lib forever. And if you got to take some stuff out and you go, all right, I'll try to put it back in. And I go, no, it's fine. And it turned into another episode because it was just funny to hear you feel bad that you had to call me. But it's hard to tell someone that. And a lot of people say, they never even told me. I'm like, it's hard to tell people. It is what it is. If it gets cut, it gets cut. But that was nice.
The people who would design Seinfeld and Curb would have all that kind of emotions because it's coming from all this humanism.
You're on both sides.
So
of it.
that makes sense that you would suddenly feel bad because if you're a sensitive instrument.
On Seinfeld, this guy I knew paid a lot of money to be an extra for charity, and I inadvertently cut him out of the show. And he had a party. He was going to have people over.
My God.
People over his house. Yeah.
Ay.
Yeah. So
Brad fucked him. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, bud.
All right. Yeah, that's not a fucking thing. It's about. That's what you gotta do. You gotta get to your seat. You gotta get your drink and you gotta get to the seat.
Sit down. It's starting.
You gotta get to your seat. You gotta get your drink. You gotta get to your seats. You gotta get to your seats and get your drink. In what order, David?
Welcome to the Olsen Twins show.
Yes.
It's clickbait. What has happened to the Olsen twins? Look at them now.
Wow, it's a cute fest up front.
Yeah.
You know, we played here in 1962. You know, it was a shitstorm then. Ringo couldn't even keep his beat.
People rushing in now. This is the show, by the way. I hope you were able to write off your ticket.
Yeah.
You know, just send it to your account and hopefully you'll get money, a rebate.
This guy's got a laminate that gets him on all 350 shows from Netflix as a joke this week. So.
I know. Netflix is a joke. Here's Joe Biden talking about the festival. Netflix is a joke. No joke. Good night. You know, he says no joke all the time when it's not a
they
joke.
Get it.
People are dying. I'm not kidding around here. My father died. No joke. We're dying now.
You can't walk him through every joke. You guys will
David,
get it.
there's two of us. We're like the Everly Brothers. I mean, I'll just be
I'm
over
on
here
top of
now.
you like this.
We could just spread the stage. You go over there. Look at this. I've never been part of a duo.
Yeah, it's good. Let's get it going because we got our bud here and we want to get things started.
Fly on the wall. We got a lot of things coming. I'm telling you, many people are saying we got a lot of stuff coming for you tonight. Fly on the wall.
That's Trump.
Trump with a head cold. Thank you.
All right,
You're tremendous.
Let's
Many
get
people are
settled.
saying.
Let's settle down.
Yeah, we're going to settle in.
This is our podcast. And by
Yeah.
the way, all joking aside, thanks for coming. I've never done anything like this. And we have our very, 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 very good friend who we all adore as our guest, which is very cool. Look at this. All right. I can just do that.
All right, this next young man coming to the stage.
Yeah.
Dana, you can introduce.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our very dear friend from Saturday Night Live and about 100 movies, the one and only Adam Sandler.
Yay!
The middleweight champion of the world. Hey, yo, Rocky, what are you doing?
How are you? I didn't even know it started.
We don't. It hasn't started actually.
It's
What
nothing.
went on so far? Did you guys talk?
We talked. I just got used to talking to a crowd. It's been the pandemic thing. Have you been in front of a crowd since the
No,
pandemic?
this is the first time. It's going great.
Yeah!
It's going incredible.
Hey, really?
You got a good full one tonight, yeah. You got a mic, you good? You know,
So you
a
just
hoodie,
keep it
I
in?
wear a hoodie sometimes. It takes about a year and a half off my age, I feel. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
smart.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
good.
it's so
Look
good.
at this. Yo, what's up?
The
Suspects.
beard is blocking so
I like
much
it.
too.
I like the look. You
I
could
got so-
definitely be on Skid Row and be like, "Hey, what's up, bro?"
Dude, I
I'm
went
just kidding.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I'm with you.
Adam, I have to tell you something. Dana, you can listen, but I
This time,
Today-
last time he made me go in the little boy place. Go ahead.
actually today we did a memorial for Norm Macdonald today, and
Yeah.
that was great. We all love Norm. We all work with Norm,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
when there was a break in the action,
Yeah.
That's stupid, but I went to McDonald's just because I had.
You did?
Yeah.
What'd you order? What's your McDonald's order?
That's a great question. Then we're gonna get to you in a minute, but I want to get to me.
We like to talk about ourselves.
Oh yeah, that's right. I listened. Good
You've
God,
heard this.
You, I like listening to you. I can't fucking believe how much you talk.
I know. No, Adam, it's not that. I have a lot to talk about.
All right, go ahead.
So-
All right, back to David.
Oh, this shirt, 12 grand. What did you ask me? Anyway, so
He's
here's-
rich.
No, here's what happened. I went to McDonald's and I got scared because I went in and people go, "Do you actually?" They can't believe I go to McDonald's and they can't believe I go in. No one goes in anymore. But I'm a man of the people, you know. So I go in and I get filet of fish meal deal.
That's okay.
By the way, I go, "What's your filet of fish of the day? Is it a branzino?"
Take a break.
And then, we laugh. And then we laugh through the bulletproof glass. And then I cut.
So then what happened?
And then I get 6-piece McNugget. I don't even know why I'm telling this fucking story. We got Adam here. But Adam loves this kind of shit. This
Love
is
it.
real people stuff. So I get my nuggets and my hot mustard and I sit down. And I sit down in there. I get a little table and I just want to make some fun because I got to go back. And I'm eating, bloop, bloop. And naturally, outside, there's someone who's acting a little crazy.
At the McDonald's.
Yeah, of course. It just comes with the deal. So
He was starting trouble.
I'm like this.
Yeah.
I'm getting nervous because there's a line of cars and he's banging on the windows. And I go, why the fuck did I come in? Because now I'm trapped. Starts heading toward the door. I go, there's no chance. Bam, door opens, drenched in sweat. And he walks right up to me.
He walked
And
away.
he
What?
walks right up.
is...
It was Ted Sarandos. No, it wasn't.
Ted Sarandos.
No, it was no, it was just a guy, and he was kind of I don't know what was going on, but he's a little crazy. So he goes, "Hey man,
This story keeps fucking
What?
going.
I know, but you guys are interrupting."
We're going to take a short break.
Anyway, he goes, "Give me some money for some food." And I go, "All right," and he's just talking to me. So I go, "Okay," and I give him $10, and then he goes, "Give me your McNuggets."
That's fucking
And
nuts.
he's dropping sweat on. He's like, and I go like this. But I know I don't have a lot of time, and I don't want to argue with him. He's going to kill me. So he goes, I go, "I'll give you one."
What?
I gave him one.
This is a fucking bit.
I swear to God today. And I
You
gave him.
worked this out at the
Chris
store.
Rock did this bit. I'll give you one nugget.
Give me one rib.
Rich Schneider.
I gave him a goddamn
Who was
nugget.
it?
Chris Rock.
Oh, Chris Rock.
has that. Anyway, this is a newer version of that. And then he goes, "Give me another one." And I gave him two.
Jeez.
And then I go, "That's it. I
Did he
gave you
dip
$10."
it in sauce? Did he dip
He
it
didn't
in
want any
his
sauce. I
sauce?
wasn't gonna let him. He goes, "I'll just dip it in sweat." Bloop, bloop. So he had two, and then I go, "Just go buy some." And the people at the cashiers were waving me off like, "Don't send him over here." And so he went over there, and then I got up and left because I got scared. But that's all. Adam, our
Hey,
guest
let's
tonight.
bring that guy out right now. Come on. Nugget man.
You know,
Daryl.
let's look at a clip.
You met a crazy man in a McDonald's.
That's pretty good, though, David.
Anyway, Adam,
Remember the crazy man you saw your first day in New York?
Oh,
you
what did
and
I
Paula,
say?
Where you saw a man masturbating in the park?
Yeah, we thought, he was masturbating in the park, and we're walking by. We just got to Manhattan. We're let's go walk in the park. And he's masturbating. We're kind of trying not to look, and he goes, "Hey, have you got the time?" It's like he's jacking off on a car bench, but he's really worried. And a park bench, sorry. Anyway, yes, Adam. You have a
remember
memory
those
like a
days.
steel trap.
I loved it.
We had some fucking crazy times.
Me and you together was the best. When David would come by, we'd be like, "All right, we got to listen for a while."
No.
He'd have a McDonald's, or remember the Jack in the Box story? It was like 20 minutes,
Exactly.
but he was great. But we had some crazy. We had that one crazy gig where we got lost.
Yes. Me and
Remember that?
Dana went on a great gig. I opened for you. You were the king, and you let me do 10 minutes before you.
It was upstate New York, and
Yes.
there was no cell phones, and we started getting lost, and we just realized, wow, we're really, really lost. So we showed up like 4 hours late, and the students were just sitting up in a gym like this, dead silence, like a church.
Yeah, they were pissed, right?
So I go get him, Adam.
Oh, yeah, you sent me out there.
Did you have your guitar with you?
No, I wasn't guitaring then, but Cajun Man just started.
Oh.
It was Cajun Man, so I said onion, and they gave me some sort of noise, and I was like, okay, this is a new life I got, man.
Fucking Cajun Man.
But I did 10, 15 minutes. I did fine.
Yeah, you did
You
fine.
said I did great, but I probably did fine. But then you went up and annihilated.
I don't remember it that
yes,
way.
Yes.
I thought we both had a
Was
rough
your set 8 minutes of Cajun Man?
Anytime something didn't work, I'd go, Funion?
And we ate Cajun afterwards. We found a place in the Pocono Mountains or something, right?
Yeah, we tipped back a few, drove back. And
No, we went crazy in the car. Let's
Yeah.
admit it. On the way back, Adam and I just got a case of the Fuckets, and the car was full of beer.
Yeah.
And we started drinking it,
Yes.
and then you brought out cigars or somewhere. We
Something
had
like
cigars.
that. Yeah.
So we're drinking beer and having cigars and playing Rod
Stewart.
for like hours.
I like you
and we
both
went
remember.
crazy, and we ran out of beer, and then we went to a liquor store. But you were with me, and you looked 15 at the time.
That's right.
I had an ID, but he goes, "I'm not selling it to you because of him," and he pointed at you. And then we got him on.
I said to him, remember I said, onion? He goes, shut the fuck up.
Usually that worked. They would just hand us a 6-pack. Onion. But anyway,
Alcoholism.
we went
Yes.
we went crazy. But those
So
were-
let's get to when Adam started stand-up, because you started before me, but you were in New Hampshire.
I did
And-
start before you?
I think,
Okay.
no, maybe it's about the same time.
Yeah.
I started when I was like 18 and a half. And then you, how old were you?
I was 17.
Oh,
And
when you started stand-up, where
Yeah,
would you go on?
I went on senior year in high school. My brother told me, and my brother was going to Boston University. And then he said, remember I told you, somebody went to Boston University here? No? Hey,
They're like, whatever you want, Adam. Well,
that's
sure.
it's a good school. Congratulations. But anyways, my brother, we were at dinner, and he said, hey, I got you that lottery ticket. I told you, remember you had to wait online and get a ticket to go on stage? And I said, oh
yeah.
my God, you got that? And because he mentioned it a couple of months earlier, and then he said, it's tonight. So I put on a dress shirt. I remember I had a nice dress shirt with stripes. I didn't know how to button this. I was never good at buttoning my own this
here,
right here. So I rolled it up like Spade right there.
Yeah.
And then
Because I still don't know how to do it.
I don't know. Is that happening still? When
It's
I do
funny
it?
that what you would think to wear the first time, because I wore a shirt and a tie.
The first time you went
Yeah.
on? Really? That's nice.
Because I wanted to look older. I looked very young, and I had to go to a real bar to do it, and the age was 19 in Arizona. So
What was the bar?
there's one called Chuckles, and then Anderson's Fit the Spade.
Chuckles.
I know they all have goofy names. Gutbusters,
Was that in Scottsdale?
the Looney Bin.
Oh.
Yeah, Chuckles was the first place I went on. And I didn't mean to stop your story. But where could you go on a bar when you're that young?
I went on at a place called Stitches Comedy Club.
See, Stitches.
Stitches in Boston.
You're
Did you ever-
17.
17. Went
No,
on
no one
stage.
gave a fuck. It's so funny they let anyone go on young.
I didn't even know what to talk about. I was driving down with my brother, and he said, "Did you write anything?" And I said, "No. I'll wing it,
You just
man.
think you're
Everything's
funny?
gonna."
Your brother was like your manager.
Yeah, he 100% was just going, you got to do something with your life. And so there's nothing else you could do. You really can handle nothing. So I went on, I did the 5 minutes. I had a retainer because I was still young. And I remember just total silence. I was saying stuff that, that I thought they would love, that my family's loved for years. And they were just going, and then I remember hearing one guy go, "He's got a retainer." And I was like, smiling. And
Dana had
Do you
a
remember
pacifier.
any of your jokes?
didn't say anything that made sense. There's nothing to
That
remember.
made
I don't
sense
even
at
know what
all.
happened. I used to get that blank mind like the first 2 years, 3 years of comedy. All day long I'd be practicing and all the shit written down and like I'm gonna say this, then that, then this, and then I'd get on stage and I'd be like, well, I fucking hate it here. Why am I here right now?
Yeah.
And space out. You guys space out, I'm
Yeah.
sure. Back in the
Blank
day.
out all the time. I would be
Terrifying.
nervous all day long. Just adrenalized, sweating, just a bright red neck, terrified, pacing.
Yeah.
And
funny 'cause
this
when
is
you're-
while I was sleeping. No, my point is this. No, it was stage fright. I mean, you had just basic.
100%.
By the time, well, I don't want to go forward, but by the time you got on SNL, it seemed like you had a lot of confidence pretty quickly then.
I don't know how, but yes.
I'm just curious about a little bit about early Adam just for a second?
Yeah.
You guys are curious about what made Adam Sandler? Like,
Thank you.
whatever you want to. I do this sometimes with our guests. Just a favorite toy or a favorite bike or your first guitar. Mm-hmm. What do you have memories about any of those?
All of those. I had a
favorite toy.
Favorite toy was probably the fucking Evil Knievel.
Oh,
Pull a
yeah.
cord.
SSP.
Evil Knievel.
SSP, making a jump.
So you wind it up or pull it.
You
and then
create your own little jump. You'd put pillows and cardboard, and fucking Evil Knievel would fly off of that. That was fun. I would scratch my mother's tile. She would yell at me for that. What was the second one you said?
You're a bike. I had Stingrays were big when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Did you have a bike that was a big chariot for you?
Mongoose. I had a mongoose.
A mongoose?
I had a monoshock. I used to do jumps. It was very daredevil-y of me.
I'd love to
but,
see you doing jumps. That'd be awesome.
Oh yeah. Now he is.
I do a little
neck would hurt
cross
me.
up, tabletop. Don't worry about it. But I also had the Evil Knievel. That Evil Knievel thing was really good on the commercials about jumps,
Yes.
and then in person, it's fucking impossible to make do
Ram
anything.
the wall and stuff.
Yeah. I just go over and fall. But when were you musical?
Can I tell him about my fucking bicycle?
No. You fucking
So,
Hey, we're new to this.
he's going to hear from me
what are you
right
moving
after.
on from my bicycle? You took over the whole bike there.
No, I thought it was.
I had this
trying to
hurts.
bail
too.
you.
We're learning tonight, which is great.
Dana, you're fantastic.
Thank you.
But
It's not true.
But David, no.
Yeah.
So I always wanted a Huffy. I wanted a Huffy like everybody else.
Now tell me about a Huffy, because that's
Huffy has like a longer
the long seat. So it was like a Stingray.
like a Stingray. Stingray's got
It'd have a banana seat. They call
Banana
it.
seat,
So
right.
the friend could ride in the back.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. A Huffy, I had more of a cushiony seat.
Yes.
It was like a banana, but a little thicker for like dirt riding, right? Like if you ride,
Was it sold at Sears? Was it from Sears?
Well, here's the problem with the Adam Sandler Huffy. So I said to my family I'd like a Huffy. Of course, I didn't get the Huffy. I got something else, a green bike. They took the seat off. My father bought a Huffy seat and put it on the bike. And I would go down to Webster School, my elementary school, and everyone's popping wheelies and on their Huffies, and I showed up with my Huffy seat and the green bike. And I was like, hey, and they were like, get the fuck out of here with that fake Huffy shit.
So, was that a budgetary thing or teaching a lesson for your dad?
There was a time when my dad, he didn't tell us he was so cool.
Yeah.
He didn't have a job for like a year and a half. And I remember he just kept it from us. I'd be like, Dad's always fucking home. This is incredible. But I would ask him, I'd still ask for shit. I'd be like, I saw this thing on TV. Let's go. Give me that.
Let's go.
And he was like, yeah, we'll get to that. And I was like, we'll get to that. What the fuck is happening?
Wow. So it was out of love when he did the Huffy seat.
But I think he had to kind of build that fake Huffy for me.
Were you a daredevil at all? Did you get hurt as a kid? Did you fall off things, break things? I mean,
I was definitely tougher as a kid. I was more fearless as a kid. Now, I was a good skier. I was a good skier.
in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire
Yeah.
skier, yeah. So
Yeah.
we skied all the time. You, Dana? You ski?
No, I was for rich people. We would have we'd have a little inner tube. We'd go to
Right.
snowball and just go down like that. But the big people out there could pay the money to go up the thing.
No,
so.
there was no money. We had Huffy skis. They were fake.
But in New Hampshire, your mountains were like 300 feet, right?
Two
we were
banana
up in Northern
seats.
California.
Yeah.
So how did you get hurt a lot? Did you just fall down?
I was pretty good. I used to do, back in the day, you did a helicopter. On the skis.
On the skis, you
and
could
that
do
was
that?
like a big deal.
Jesus.
Now it's fucking. I don't even think anyone does a helicopter anymore, right? That you look at. No, you never see these guys on TV pop out a helicopter. They're always doing those flips and shit.
Well, they could do anything they want. It's
unbelievable
insane
now. They're so
Olympics
cool.
now. It doesn't even make sense.
There was one guy in my hometown, Robitaille, his last name, Jay Robitaille. He used to do flips. He fucking was at this place, McIntyre. It was a little ski area in my hometown. They'd build a jump for this guy, and no one else could do it, but he would just come down, knock out a flip. Everybody like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, wait
Did
a minute,
real flip.
Adam, you go down and then you go up.
He
and
leans
then-
forward.
and then
He gets in the air. He leans forward. Does a full flip.
Oh, a front flip?
Front flip.
Fuck.
But you would
That's
go
harder.
like a complete.
I would do that.
360.
I could do it.
Yeah.
and then
soccer
land
too.
your skis.
And then land. Yeah, I was cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was very good when I was like up to 15, and then I started getting scared,
okay.
not being as cool.
So then, when did the guitar come in? Like I got a drum set at
Yes.
14. When did you get a guitar?
Yeah, and you're great on drums. We had some good jams. Back
We
in
had
the-
some good jams
the
too.
best.
Yeah.
Yes. My guitar happened. My dad had an acoustic,
Okay.
so he used to play. He'd always sing Mariah, the "Away Out West." They got her, right? For wind and smoke and fire.
And they called they called the wind Mariah.
So thank you. You didn't know that one?
Do you guys know
I
that
did.
one?
I knew when to be quiet. You beat me down so much I didn't join in. Even though I have the voice of an angel.
So you got it. Well, we'll get David in on
Yeah, get in on the
one
rest,
here.
sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite entertainment that you saw as in your formative years? I say 5 to 13, like TV show or movie that fucking blew your mind,
Thing
or a
that
comedian.
robbed.
my fucking
Wild Wild West? No, you're too young.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like my favorite thing. I think the thing that knocked me out when I was I love movies. I loved all the comedies. Like I'm sure everybody up here, the Mel Brooks and all that stuff. Young Frankenstein and Silent Movie and
Blazing Saddles.
and all that stuff got me. But I'll
Crazy.
tell you what really got me. I look back at it. I think I was in Florida, or Florida, as you would say, David. But I was in Florida. Florida. And,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
my parents took me to see Eddie Fisher. He sang.
Oh.
Eddie Fisher, and somebody went on before him. From Singing in the Rain, Donald O'Connor, Eddie Fisher, and they came out and did. Eddie Fisher closed the show. Donald O'Connor tap dance, and I was sitting with my parents going, "Holy shit! One guy, you go on stage, you can do that kind of thing." And I got kind of like wanted to get into that.
That's interesting. That sort of turned you on just to performing. Like they didn't know if you'd even like it, and then you really liked it.
I guess so. I mean, I don't think they were trying to talk me into it. They were just trying to have a nice night out in Florida. And then I was just kind of locked into, I used to sing a lot in the car. I used to sing a lot. My mother always said I sang good. My father would just stare like this.
What would you sing? You remember? Just songs off the radio?
Oh my God. It was a pain in the ass because I sang a lot of Johnny Mathis for my mother.
Oh, really?
She'd always sing Chances Are. And I'd be like,
me hear that.
chances are, cause I wear a silly grin. Whatever I did,
And
and it was fine, not great.
Chances are you will. I used to see him.
The big vibrato. And
Yeah,
then
you had the pipes.
I sang Maria from West Side Story. I sang, this is when I was little, like 10. And but my mother always said I had a good voice, and my father was like, he's all right. And
Didn't your mom, who was such a cheerleader, that if Sinatra came on, she would say, "You're better"?
oh yeah, you could do that. Yeah.
Supportive mom.
Oh, you know what's funny? My mother. Speaking of that, my uncle worked at a clothing company, and when I went to NYU, I was a stand-up. There you go. And I was a stand-up. I was making no money, like all of us. And my mother called my uncle and said, "Can Adam model for you?" And my uncle was like, I'll talk to them. And she's like, he really needs the work. Help him model. And I'm like, really? I'm a model? She's like, you're gorgeous. And and then my uncle,
your mom.
you're wonderful. And then my uncle had to just go, he's fucking looks terrible in a suit. He's not great. There's not a good angle on him.
You own a suit now, don't you?
What?
You own a suit now.
I actually, because of my daughter's bat mitzvah, I had to get the fucking suit dry cleaned this morning. I don't think it's going to fit either. I've been swelling up. What can you do?
All right, so
Go ahead, Dana. You had so many questions.
I know. Well, then you go to
He's the worst. That's your hero, Adam. He doesn't know anything.
Yeah, let's see.
We're kind of up in that area. Toy bike. Now I gotta have a roadmap.
This is good, man. Wilt,
Stud boy.
the stud boy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wilt joke. Now Chris Rock called that one of the best pure jokes ever written.
Thank you, Chris.
And that was early stand up.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, David, you want to? Because
Let's hear
I'm
it.
just thinking of Adam grows up, he goes to NYU, and then he's
Yeah.
in New York, he's 17.
Yes.
Within 6 years, you're on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
So what happened in those 6 years, David?
Well, Adam was a great stand-up, had a very unique perspective, interesting delivery, good, memorable joke. It was more like one joke,
Yeah,
one
yeah,
joke,
like
one
like,
joke, right? Yeah,
quickies.
not really stories. It was kind
Right.
of like that. And I wasn't even, we didn't have YouTube, all that shit, so I didn't know you till I actually physically saw you.
Yeah.
That was in the Valley. It was at the Improv and the Valley Improv.
we
You ever go to the
met.
Valley Improv, Dana?
Did you ever do that?
Oh, yeah, I did that when I was living in New York in 1981, doing a sitcom with Nathan Lane and Mickey Rooney.
Wow.
I worked one of the boys. You check it out. And with Scatman Carruthers as well. But you like, Jack Tarabuto told me once that he was your
he lived in
partner
my
for a long
dorm,
time,
yeah.
and he knew you back then. You would just do a bit. You'd go to a club, wouldn't quite work, and then you keep going and going. Then you'd come back like a week later, and you had it killing. So you were very tenacious about it, right?
Yes. I don't know why. I was not. I was probably the same as you guys. You just, I don't know. I believed in it. I kept doing it. Found a way to kind of phrase it right.
Do it till it works. Or do you ever tape? I used to tape mine, then it was very excruciating to listen to your own voice, but you would think you killed, and it was really just one person laughing loud.
Yeah.
Or you'd think it was nothing, but then you said something you forgot in between the jokes that was good. So
Right.
you'd sort of like piece it together and then try it again and tape it. And
Sure.
yeah, I did the same thing you do where you pulled out of a hat, but it was more sickening because I drove out from Arizona and then they'd have at the Improv amateur night. And so
Yeah.
I'd sit there and they'd pull a name and read it and you'd come up. So we're all waiting.
Yeah.
And every time they pull it, you get nervous and it's not you. And I go, oh.
And
then,
you almost don't want it to be you sometimes. So you're like, good, they're not going to get to
right.
me.
And then it was tough. And
Yeah,
then by
'cause
the
you're
end of the
so
night, I'm like,
scared.
I don't even need
sorry.
it now. It was, and then it never worked that way. And I think it was rigged. I think they knew he was going up. They had friends of friends. But I finally got a few things. But then we wound up running to each other.
How did you do your first night?
How'd I do?
Yeah.
First night of stand up?
Yeah.
That's a good question. When I started stand up, I take the mic off.
Can I get you anything, Adam? No, it's actually
I just
anyone's
remember
first time is a
we
good
were
story.
spoiled because when I got to Saturday Night Live, or I was in the Valley, and I was seeing comics. I was seeing guys like Drake Sather, who was great. I saw Adam was great. Schneider was funny.
Yeah, he
and
was great.
I was just wound up seeing guys that, in a million years, how would we all get on SNL? It was so weird that it would
was
happen
big.
that way.
When you came in, it was like a firestorm. But you guys you kind of like had 20 minutes, right? You weren't headlining on the road. You had a
Middle.
great
Right.
20.
Pretty
and then
good
SNL
20, yeah.
people saw you in the clubs.
That's right.
And they liked your writing. You got hired as a writer.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Dennis hooked me up. Dennis Miller.
So
Dennis Miller.
Dennis was the one who saw you. That's true.
Yeah, Dennis Miller saw me a few times at the Santa Monica Improv. And he waited in the back after. I think you guys knew each other already.
I knew he was my
Well, yeah,
favorite
we all
comic back
knew
then.
You
Dennis.
probably introduced us then.
Maybe, yeah.
And he watched me and he said he liked some of my jokes and he was so nice to me and we loved him and we idolized him and he heard they were Lauren was looking at new people and he said you should check out the Sandman and
Sandingo, yeah.
He gave you that moniker?
yeah,
Because Dennis he always has a name for somebody.
right.
Christ's sakes, Sandman hitting it heavy down at the Prov in Santa Monica, okay? tearing up the beach communities with his wilt-to-stilt humor. Sorry, I love being Dennis. I love being in that attitude. But thank you. So, what was do you remember your first bit that kind of became your rock? Like, even if the set was not going well, you had one that started to work?
Yes, I had one that, I said Vicks Vapor Rub. I used to say, remember Vicks Vapor Rub? When your mother would rub it on your chest.
Oh, yeah.
And my mother would be rubbing it on my chest, and then we make eye contact. And I was like, I thought we were just friends, Ma. That was like my...
That was a great one.
That was my big guarantee back then.
Did you ever say this one when you go, I remember that joke very well. I thought that was a great one. And he said, when I was... people say, if you could live your life over, would you change anything? You go, yeah. When I was walking when I fell down the stairs, I might have grabbed the rail next time.
Oh, yeah,
was that
that's
something
right.
like that?
Yeah, that was it.
Wow.
Jeez, I forgot that.
I mean, there's obviously Wilt Chamberlain, but you had so many good jokes, and they were so different and odd. And then Dennis got you on.
Yeah, Dennis.
But it's good to be different. It's very hard to be different. And so when you
when I auditioned that night, it was with Rock, Dana Gould, and 3 other good comedians.
Where were you?
I was
Chicago?
in Chicago. Flew to
that's
Chicago.
right. Rock was Chicago. That's
Rock
right.
did great. I did fine. Dana Gould destroyed.
Great
God
comic.
damn, that's what happened with me
He
too.
was incredible. So he should have got it.
He's
I don't
great.
know why. He wrote for the Simpsons. He did a lot of great stuff. But somehow I got hired as a writer like David did. And then it would be David and Schneider, me, and who else was a writer? Anybody else? Just us 3?
Because Farley and Rock got hired that year, and they were just straight
They were on
feature or cast members. Yeah, everybody wrote for themselves. Like Dana wrote, but Dana was never credited as a writer.
If you got on as a main player, you never got a writer's credit for some reason. But
that's
whatever,
right.
it's just part of the deal.
That was good sneaky money, though. I didn't want to be a writer, but we didn't make much money, but you'd get kicked a rerun in perpetuity, and that was nice. Even though it was 2 cents, but it was nice to you get a stack of checks, and it's the host, so it's like 18 cents, Alec Baldwin, 18 cents, Tom Hanks, Glenn Close. So that was kind of fun to rack that up, the bricks.
You've invested wisely.
Yeah, invested wisely, and then but we didn't make a ton. I'm sure when you started, we didn't make shit.
I don't think we couldn't believe we were getting paid, right?
Yeah.
It was just
Who
a big
cares?
deal to get money.
Just maybe, like you net like maybe 20 grand for the whole season or something.
Yeah.
Just live in a hovel. Yeah, it was really. But there I was with Phil, late great Phil, Jan Hooks, God bless him.
Yes.
And
Phil,
Mike Myers. And Lovitz, and the show was really cooking. And then you guys came off like the mothership in Close Encounters, Here comes Rock and Sandler. And I remember the first time I saw you in the office, you were just kind of sitting at the big table on the 17th floor, Saturday Night Live. And I was doing pretty well on the show, But I liked you immediately. You just had this vibe about you that was really, really funny and likable, And that's a big part of the DNA.
Sensed the love we all had. Dana was the king. Dana, I'll tell you, remember, it was almost like at a stand-up club. If Dana had a skit, and your skit was going on after, you were just like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no, because Dana would crush so hard.
You got to follow Church Lady or something.
Yeah,
Are you talking about read-through or
read through?
on the show?
Anything.
Read-through was bad.
But on the air was the biggest explosion in the place. And then your skit would do fine, but in your weird comedy brain, you're just like, how the fuck do I get those Dana laughs?
Yeah.
Well, I had a lot of help. Make a talk show, and then have Phil Hartman and Jan Hooks come on a lot. Crazy stuff. But so you come on, you get on the show. You're like,
what's your first big? What was your first? You probably did Update first, right? Or did you write Racky Pete or something?
No, that was Al Franken wrote that.
Yeah.
Aren't you supposed to do the noise now? You do that? All right. But
I'd like to ask you a question.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
So, like in classic comedy. Sorry, David, you weren't finished. Sorry, you're gonna like this one. Because you didn't really lean on it much, but in the beginning, I remember in the classic comic sense of the idiot. So, like, there's Jerry Lewis is like the king, and then I remember you would do the hunched over guy, and he would do that sound. Where did that guy come from? Because that instantly made me laugh so hard because you were so committed. What's that?
I don't even know, man.
It's very musical.
It
Can you do more of
always
it?
felt good in a microphone. I don't even know if that ever got on the air. If I ever did that,
I just remember seeing that and really loving it, you know. But there's one character I want to break down, unless David has a question, because I'm sure.
Go ahead.
We're really close friends. The Opera Man, the evolution of Opera Man, that then became the indestructible killer bit of all time. By the time you got it on the update desk with the pictures and you were mixing.
Great wig.
So,
good wig.
Adam,
good
I'll
look.
let you fit, but talk about the origins of that and the way you did it and then the way you ended up doing it. It evolved, right?
Gotcha. Yes, it
okay,
did.
go ahead.
Right. Yes.
That's my question.
Thank you. Yeah, that's a good question. And I remember you knew the guy. So there was a man on the street who used to sing opera on the street. He used to hold the can up and you'd be walking down the street and he'd kind of come at you and go, hey! And he'd sing really hot and he'd charge you. And you'd be like, oh, and you give him money.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's kind of where I first started doing it around
I
the
love
office.
that. I didn't know that. I met that guy today at McDonald's. He wasn't singing though. He's in between sets.
Adam, what would a guy like that be ordering like a McDonald's? How would he
what
sound?
did he order? Yeah. Hey, barbecue sauce.
The thing that you can sound exactly opera is one more gift on SNL. If you can
have a voice.
If they'd write a singing sketch, obviously Adam wrote a lot of his own, but if they'd write somewhere you sing, you can get in. If you can play an instrument, you can get in. There's so many things if you can do. Dance. So if you do, I didn't do a lot of those things, which was kind of a drag, but Adam can sing so well and actually write songs that are catchy, because a lot of those things you don't update were actually really catchy on top of just being funny. Yeah. And so that combo is big. And that Opera Man was a fucking cruncher. That always
That
killed.
was a gift from
Didn't
the
you
Turners.
do it off on the stage next update initially?
Yeah, no, first time I did it, it was just gibberish. It was like, it was a
Subtitles.
theater thing. And I think maybe you, or was it Phil?
That's what I remember. I don't know
It
if
was
I
like,
remember this
maybe
right.
maybe you.
But
You
I
were
was
like,
in my office. And
Yes, that's it, that's
Adam
it.
used to go around the office on all fours. So then I hear a little knock, and I'm in my office. So I open it up, and you're on all fours. And you go, oh, and then you were asking me to do something, introduce Opera Man,
you
right?
were the man.
So I did
That's
remember
right.
that. So
you were like a theater guy who would say, tonight the Opera Man.
Yeah.
Something like, goes from the emotion of, like trying to catch the bus. But unfortunately, he misses the bus. But then he sees his mother, is behind the bus and picks him up. Let's watch the Opera Man.
Okay.
Or something like that. And I'd walk. I'd be like, and then I'd see my mother be, something like that. And that was it. And it did good. It did good at the table.
It did good.
Sandler, it's good if you... A trick on SNL is if Adam was probably slightly newer then, but if you anchor it with Dana, who they love.
Oh, right.
And then he brings you on, and then they go, hey, Dana seems to like it. and then they start to like the new guy. It helps you. When you're new, it helps.
Yes. No, it was Dana's the best at it, so that's what it was. But anyways, it did fine. It was up at the table. It did well. Everybody. Remember, after a while, they started liking us at the table. When David and I first were on SNL and at the table, and we try to get on and we do full skits for ourselves, everybody else was kind of like, calm down.
That's enough, guys. Yeah, that's enough.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. Yeah.
Right. But then by this time, they were like, all right, give him a shot. And then we did that, and it didn't do great, so Lauren didn't put it on. But then the Turners, out of nowhere, Bonnie and Terry Turner.
Great writers. They wrote for the show for 8-9 years.
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World.
You and Mike.
Yeah,
they wrote the first Tommy Boy draft, too.
What's that?
They wrote the first draft of Tommy Boy.
They wrote, that's right. Tommy Boy, that's right.
They were monsters. I don't even know why we don't talk about them more. They had some huge sketches.
You guys should have them on this show.
I'd love it.
We'd love to.
Yeah, they're
Hi,
great.
Bonnie. Hi, Terry. in case
Hello,
they're
guys.
listening to this when it's released.
But they wrote what? What we said?
And Lindsay, their daughter.
Their daughter, Lindsay.
Yes. But anyways, they wrote this thing and they talked to me. I was in my office. They were like, so remember that Opera Man thing you did? We came up with an idea for the news and they showed it to me. And I was just so dumb and young and whatever I was. And I was like, yeah, I guess. I guess we could try it that way.
It was Opera Man on the news, that you said?
Opera Man on
Doing
the
the
news,
news.
showing current
Oh, and then
events,
you
and then me
rhyme it,
singing
you
about
sing
them
it.
and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't really, I was like, no, Opera Man speaks gibberish, and that doesn't make any sense.
You don't understand Opera Man.
So then it became a divorce. So how would it, you would do current events with like Trumpo. And,
Yeah, exactly.
And it would just crush.
That was all those guys wrote it. I got to be it. They would give me the melodies, and Cheryl would write it on the
Cheryl
piano.
Hardwick. Yeah.
And they would just give me all the goods, and I mean, it was the greatest gift ever.
That was a
I
home run.
Got to wear the
Did you do it with
wig.
Eddie Vedder or not? You sing like Eddie Vedder once? You go,
I sang like Eddie
Was it
Vedder
as
once.
Opera Man or was it something
Opera
else?
Man singing about Pearl Jam, yeah. And then, and remember when I think they were even on the show Pearl Jam that night.
Oh, that's right.
But
So
anyways,
what would he say? A Vedder? Or what do you?
I
mean, you got the pipes, kid. You
No,
still got
you were going, hey, I'm having a little songs out of made of concrete.
Yeah.
But you sound exactly like him.
I can't do it now. I know Eddie Vedder. He's
It's a certain thing he does.
He's got a thicker, lower voice. Than
his
any of
voice
us.
is unreal.
It's a juicy voice.
We share an office, me and Farley, and then you walk through our office to get to Adam and Chris Rock. So when the door was closed, I'd hear, oh, ho, ho, hey, and I'm like, oh my God, he's got a killer cooking in there.
Oh yeah.
It's in the oven.
We all got excited when we landed on a good impression. But I did one with Lovitz. An Opera Man
Yes,
with Lovitz.
yes.
That was a great one. He can sing great.
And that was a perfect, only other guy who could do it besides you, because
Oh,
he's got
man.
pipes and
Yes.
he's just a funny, so that was a killer.
That was amazing.
He played your brother or something?
It was Glenn Close and Lovitz, and maybe they were my parents. I don't remember.
Yeah,
But I remember they came on and sang with me.
Only on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, that's right.
Can we, I could go anywhere. It's so much fun.
I wanted to ask about when he does bits when you get to bring in one of the musical stars. I think McCartney did Red Hooded Sweatshirt with you.
Oh, that was the great.
God damn.
I'm so
Farley did something
jealous.
with him. You did something
Yes.
with him.
I
We love
left just
McCartney,
right
yeah.
before McCartney hosted.
You weren't there then?
I missed it. I was a fool. He was upset, because we'd met at 86 at Lauren's house. He called me up. I don't know why you didn't stick around, Dan. We could have had a plunker. We'd be plunking, looking at each other. I go, who is this? Nobody involved. No,
He's crank
I
calling
missed
you.
that, but you got to do a thing. What did you do with Paul McCartney?
It was Red Hooded Sweatshirt. I wrote it with Ian Maxtone Graham and I forget who else, somebody else, and we had dip, I had dip and
Dip, dip, dip.
shabalama
Ba,
ding
ba,
dong and
ba,
stuff like
yeah.
that. I say it, and then as it progressed, Kevin Nealon did it with me, and then I said, let's call out Paul and Linda, and Paul and Linda McCartney. We wrote it for him, and then Lorne said, I said, will they do it? He goes, well, you have to talk to them. And so I went to Lorne's office. They were eating, I think.
They were on the show or they were just visiting?
They were, Paul was the guest.
Okay.
And Linda was with
You
him.
walk in and you have to convince them.
I just had to come in with the dopey guitar and be like,
Yeah.
hi, my heart's pounding through my chest.
Did you crawl in or did you walk?
Hey, a little skip or something. That was when you were going to pitch it. Remember you'd skip across? No, I'm making that up. Sorry. Go ahead. So you walk in there. I mean,
I went, Lauren's eating Shun Li Chinese.
Shun Li, I love
and Paul and Linda there. And Linda's amazingly nice, and Paul's amazingly nice. And I sing them the little thing, and they laughed. And then I left, and then I was like, I don't know if that worked or not. But then they said yes, and they forever. I got that. I sang with them, hung out with them after the show. Hung out. Stella was there. Remember, Stella was a kid. She came to the show. and
Stella
hung out.
McCartney, the fashion designer.
Yes, and she was such a nice kid. She was like our age then, like whatever we were. And
Yeah, let's keep the numbers out of it.
I saw him discipline his kids on Long Island. Went over to his house and You know, I think James had a little toy sword, a plastic sword. He dropped it down on his sister, and Paul goes, "You do that one more time, we're gonna have a problem." So it's funny to see him as a dad. Yeah, see him as a dad. So,
I remember
we love him.
some comic said he had $1 billion. He was the first one with $1 billion, and they go, you know, if he lost his wallet in a cab and there was 500 million in it, he'd still have $500 million. That was some comic joke. But do you remember when Farley's brothers came to the show when McCartney was on, that stupid story where Paul looked the same as Paul McCartney growing up, but he had a little bit of gray hair. And so Farley's brothers were standing there with red cups. There was no security. So the music comes out of their dressing room, walks by the 8H page desk, you know that, and they walk right into the show. And they go, "Paul McCartney, 1 minute till you're on live." And so you see he comes out with a bodyguard on the front and back, and he walks out with his guitar, and it's fucking Paul McCartney. I'm there with Farley's idiot brothers, and they're all drunk. And he comes around, and they go, and one of them goes, "Hey, Paul." And he looks over and he goes, "Getting a little gray." And he goes, and then
I remember that, man.
he walks out, and I go, "Are you an idiot?" He goes, "He looked." And then he goes on the monitor, and they're like 15 seconds, and he looks in the monitor, and he goes like this. He got in his head right before he went out.
Oh no!
And you know, he's like, "Is my?" And then, anyway. So I will say one of my proudest moments, because sometimes Adam and I would try to write together, or we would all try to think of excuses to all be in the same sketch or whatever.
Yes.
And the one I like the best is the Gap Girls when we were in the
That was
mall,
all David.
in the mall, and then Farley says, "Lay off me, I'm starving."
Oh, the
That is one of the
best.
funnest ones we ever did.
Yeah, man.
And Schneider was in it, and Sarah Gilbert was a host.
Oh, yeah.
And we were all, that was just the fun for me, because we would all just rehearse. So, you know, you write it, if it gets in, you laugh at read through, you laugh, you know, when we talk about who plays what parts and what we say, and then
You
add
really
jokes.
wrote all that stuff, though. That
I
was
know,
all
but then
you.
everyone adds jokes, whatever you want, and then we got to do it on. So you have to rehearse all week or once
Yeah,
or
you
twice.
get to be
and
together,
That's a good
rehearse, and
reason to hang out, is to rehearse.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Does everyone know about the Gap Girls? Because there's a young audience. Okay. Because there's some younger people here.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
I know,
just a
man.
sketch where we all worked at the Gap. We played girls, and it was infuriating to
And
everyone.
how did you talk?
Whatever.
That's right.
Yeah,
Oh my
we're
God,
like,
that's so
weren't you at the
yeah.
folding meeting? Yeah, and I went to the Gap and studied it, and they showed how they put a clipboard in the sweaters and pulled them out and folded them out. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
mesmerized. And then they would actually, this is when you feel kind of like a big deal, because
Yeah.
if you get a sketch on and you're just some doofus from Arizona, and it's like a dumb sketch about the Gap, and then when they bring the sketches written and it's put up on its feet, they talked to the Gap and brought a whole section of the Gap over. So they had a security guard, because it would cost so much. It was real pants, real sweaters, and it was just a chunk of the Gap they moved in, and the Gap liked it because it was free advertising.
Yeah.
Even though we made them all look like morons. But it was still really fun. And then we all hung out there and would practice in there, rehearse, whatever it's called. And it was great. So we did a couple of those. We did Gapperty, where it was Jeopardy. It was just a fun way for me, you, and Farley to be in sketches.
Yeah.
And that was
What was
really,
our names again?
Say it again?
What was our names on the
Christy.
Lucy.
He was Cindy, and you might have been Lucy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And does anyone know?
Something like that.
Do you remember the one that, because a lot of times you don't really get to rock and roll with somebody in a sketch. So you and I had a crazy sketch. When I came back to guest host.
Dogs?
No.
When you play drums? What?
Pepperboy.
Oh, that was the
let's talk about
best. Yeah.
Pepperboy.
So
Yeah.
that
was incredible.
That was like, you and I were peaking on the air show. Chris Farley was, Tim Meadows was.
Yes. Farley crossed his
Let's
eyes.
just talk about that for a second. That was Steve Coren started.
That's
it,
right.
Wrote it. So it's just too. I was kind of he was my protege. I was the mentor. I was obsessed with how to do the pepper. You
A
like
huge pepper mill.
And Adam was kind of the
young-
underling and
Yes.
really eager. And
Oh, yeah.
I'll just set it up for a second. It did well in read through.
Yeah.
Pretty well in rehearsal. Dress show, pretty good.
Yeah.
Then Steve Coren comes to me and tells me something you want to do
What was
between shows.
Was it the?
So at one point we had I was gonna you were going crazy. You were so nervous. Remember, I slapped you.
Yeah.
Comedy, it's always threes. And then I headbutt you, right?
Yeah, with the sound effects.
So between dress and air, Steve Corn, the writer, comes in and says, Adam's going to put the pepper shaker between his legs. So you're going to do this.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we timed it great, but we really peaked on air.
Yeah, that was amazing. That doesn't happen every time.
We committed so hard. I mean, because Tim Meadows was sitting there and I was doing the pepper. You like a pepper, huh?
Oh,
I mean, it became way, I don't know if it was sexual or something, but we were just on
That
another
was-
level.
I'd say once 2 weeks, if I'm in a restaurant, a guy with the pepper thing will be like, fresh pepper. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah. And do you remember what happened? Like, Farley was always the best at breaking people because he could be explosively funny. Do you remember his line and what he did on the
I
air?
know what it is too.
Yeah.
We flew in from Tommy Boy.
Yes.
For just the show, and then we had to fly back.
Oh.
And he goes, I have a line in Pepper Boy. And didn't he have a big beard?
He had a big
He looked
beard.
ridiculous. He really hammed it up.
He
His
said,
line
they
was,
say,
why
"Why,
thank you, Pepper Boy,"
Why,
right?
thank you. He
This
said, I'm
is-
going to make you laugh. He goes, Etsy, I'm going to make you laugh out there.
I think he
said-
He taunted you?
Before it started, he goes, Etsy, I'm going to make you laugh out there. And I go, all right. And then,
I think he leans back and goes, why, thank you, Pepper Boy.
I've never seen a human being transform like that.
I think he
he
said
had like
that's the
12 chins and
Perfect amount of pepper. But huge beard for no reason. And big,
But he
and
saved
screamed
it for the air show.
he did,
Yeah.
yes. He crossed his eyes, too. If I
Adam
remember.
starts to turn purple. That's the stage. I'm over here. Adam's turning toward me and trying not to go.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
sketch had gone so well that I stayed in character.
Yeah,
but
you
I
was
said,
sturdy.
don't break. Do you remember? Do you remember that?
Of course. That's funny, man.
Don't
Yeah, you were
break.
the pro. You were the pro.
the
We
funny
were
thing is,
goofy.
as Farley wasn't even supposed to say it that loud, it made no sense.
Well,
He's supposed to go, why, thank you, Pepper Boy. But he goes,
Right.
why, that?
Oh, yeah. He lost his marbles.
Yeah,
there,
well, that's his mind.
But that was an electric sketch for a restaurant
Man.
sketch.
And then Il Cantonori, when we did that
well, you
one.
guys wrote Il Cantori,
That
and
was,
that also
was major.
was explosive.
But you would take the reins, murder.
Yeah.
Then we'd have a little thing to do, and we were like, let's jump on the Dana fucking thunderstorm.
Yeah.
well, I don't know quite if you guys killed too. You and Schneider
we
came in.
We
you're
did good, but you got them all ready.
That was an Italian restaurant where all the waiters are too sexual with Christy Alley and all the women that come in, they're like, oh, bellissima.
That's right.
Bellissima.
Yeah.
I start licking Christy Alley's face. I'm supposed to lick her face really hard. I remember in rehearsal, I go, is this okay? And she goes, oh yeah, go for it. Whatever you want to do. Bellissima, I like it. Oh, you like it. But you guys were just,
Crusher.
You and
Crusher.
Schneider came in with,
Yes.
Schneider had no clothes on or something. What was
I
that?
had no clothes on. That was I was the guy back then. I could take my fucking shirt off and feel okay. Now there's a reason the sweatshirt's on at all times.
He has another shirt in case that somehow falls off. You know what's another crusher was Lunch Ladyland, and a great song. I called Sandler about a year ago. I go,
Yeah.
Yes.
it's on my iPod, and it came in, and I
Really?
go, this is a good song when you go, Sloppy Joe, Sloppy Joe, yeah.
That was-
I go, the way you write it, and it's actually funny, and then you do a sketch, and it's funny, and then you hear it again, you go, that's actually a good song. Like you can, it's
I
always
go-
catchy songs that stick
I sang
with you.
that. I sang that on my album before I sang it on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, yeah? Oh, you
And
did it first on the
I
album?
did it first on the album, and Farley was at the taping of my album. And so when I'm singing on the album, Sloppy Joe, I think I'm in Santa Barbara. Or I don't remember where I was. Just a cool club. I'm sorry I forgot the name of it, but it was a club. We were recording. Farley was in the crowd going nuts. And then his crazy voice is so, when I'm going, Sloppy Joe, Sloppy Joe, you hear Farley going, Sloppy Joe, like in the back. And he never even heard the song before. He just kind of said, all right, he's going
He
to
was
sing
into
Sloppy
it,
Joe.
yeah.
Wow.
Did it.
Yeah, that was
And
a crusher.
was that on They're Gonna Laugh at You, which was
They're all going to laugh at you.
two
yes.
times platinum.
That was a biggie.
You're the last guy to really sell comedy albums, I think.
I
mean, my God.
don't know if there's been some after, but with that back in the day, that was, you were on it.
Yeah.
Everybody was.
Hey, buddy.
all
Hey, buddy.
The buddies.
We did
skit.
buddy, dude.
Yeah.
Homie. Yeah, that was a great one.
What the Hell Happened to You was another one.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
That was where your real acidy humor came out on those albums.
That was where I got to curse a lot for the first time, and David cursed with me, and we all we were so excited. It was like being on Saturday Night
I just
Live.
thought it was like jazz. I mean, the one about the announcer with the champion. You say the word
champion,
It's a
yeah.
golf announcer.
Yeah,
you do
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
you say
yeah.
the word champion
The
like
champion.
500 times. Go
It's
ahead.
about a golfer who has like a 9-stroke lead, and he's on the last hole, and he keeps missing putts.
And you're the announcer.
I'm the announcer going, the champion is feeling it today, and he's about to set the course record, and the champion. And then he putts it, and you hear the crowd go, oh, and well, the champion laughs that off. 8-stroke lead now, you know, all that kind of shit. And then it gets more and more
just insane.
closer to being like choking, and he's like, well, he's up 3 strokes. Hopefully he can put this one in, and then it's Blake Clark is doing
Blake
the
Clark.
voice of the
Blake
champ,
Clark.
and he's going, God fucking damn it. Anyways,
Those albums were good because like they lay into the crowd of college kids in the summer, and then you come back and you're even bigger on SNL because they're like playing them over and
the
over
albums
and
were
over.
the biggest
Smart.
deal besides Saturday Night Live, because like you said, I would go out on tour. The kids who were coming to see me knew the albums, so they knew some of the songs, they knew some
Yeah.
of the characters, and that definitely relaxed me on stage.
Yeah.
All of us, we used to have fun.
Well, let's just say, because you've given me a lot of props, that by the time you're after about 2 years in on SNL, you really were just like top notch. I mean, you
Yeah.
were crushing consistently on that show, and the audience was falling in love with you because.
Yeah.
You know, when you'd sing Hanukkah song, when
Oh,
you
yeah.
would do your guitar or Thanksgiving
Yeah.
song.
Right,
First of
yes.
all, you're a really good acoustic player.
Not bad.
And you can hold a great melody, and then
Yeah.
it's so silly and funny, and also watching you enjoy it. Not
Right.
breaking, but
Right.
just the light in your eyes.
Right,
It's
right.
so infectious.
It was
you know?
exciting. Yeah, man. I remember that. I remember singing that at the table, the turkey song, the Thanksgiving song for like Smigel and a couple other writers at the table going, singing it to them. And if they laughed, I was like, oh, fuck, okay, they think it's
You're
funny.
onto something, yeah.
It was a big deal. If those guys, the great writers on the show, when they would smile at what your idea was, like Jim Downey, if he said something was good, you would just
Yeah.
like, even if it didn't get on, you were like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm funny now.
Yeah, we had the A team there. Was
Yes.
Smigel, genius, Downey, brilliant. You know,
Yeah.
we had some incredible
Handy.
writers
Absolutely.
helping us.
When was
achieve
your
our
first
dreams.
movie? That was when we did the summer we did Tommy Boy. You did Billy Madison, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the next summer, Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
And then those movies kept making it more than the other ones. They give you another
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
and then it was
Wedding
Wedding
Singer.
Singer. Was
Wedding Singer.
yeah.
And then
fucking
Waterboy. I think that was where it was the
Waterboy.
mic drop. At that point, you were a movie
Yeah, it
star.
was too big.
When you do you did of course Billy Madison, but you do Happy Gilmore, The Wedding Singer, and Waterboy
Yeah.
within like 24 months or something.
then Big Daddy.
Then Big
Another
Daddy, yeah,
mega
yeah,
monster.
Yeah.
Do you have too many? I can't even.
You know,
many.
when Waterboy came out, I was hosting, and you were there that weekend, and we were going to do a bit in the monologue, and then you had to fly back. Waterboy was such a fucking. They told us, or they told you how much it made, and everyone was like, "What the fuck?" And then you had to get back, and I changed my monologue, and I just did stand up. I wasn't doing stand up in the monologue.
You're kidding me. I was
Yeah.
supposed to go out with you.
Well, we were going to do audience member, you know, when you go,
man.
oh, yes, can I do it? And you're going to
man.
ruin my monologue with questions. And then they go, Lauren goes, well, you said you had to go. And I go, all right, well, what do I do? And he goes, stand up.
Oh, really?
Aren't you a stand up? I go, well, I fucking never do it anymore. I go, tonight? So he goes, just throw some things together. I go, so you can't go practice or run to Catch a Rising Star. So I put some together, but it's so fucking terrifying to do a monologue anyway. And then
Oh, yeah.
a cordless mic.
Hosting's hard.
And then everyone's like,
Well,
And
that
then-
is the worst when you're doing stand up and you're about to go out and you look for the mic and then the guy makes the decision for you, like, don't use a hand mic, use this. And then you go and you don't have a fucking mic in your hand. You're like, holy shit, what do I do with both my hands?
I go like this. Hey, You don't
I
know
know,
what to
we're
do.
not used to it. You know?
Or a mic stand. I lean on a mic stand sometimes. It's not there.
Oh,
You
yeah. Yeah, looking for a mic stand to lean on,
It's
right?
just like drowning. Yeah.
Yeah, when you first start to stand up, you just hold the mic like this.
Oh, God, you're choking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Did you
man.
go with Bill? Like I'm sorry.
I remember shooting Billy
Yeah.
Madison, and you guys were shooting Tommy Boy and hanging out up in Toronto
Yeah,
together.
we were in the same place because we came over there, and that was the night when you remember when you did that thing called there was like a crime scene joke with everybody where they go in a room and you go walk in and it's a crime scene.
Yeah.
Anyway, so but Adam's movie was called Billy Madison. Our movie was called Billy the Third.
Yeah, it was Billy the Third.
And so we changed it, and we just didn't have we didn't know what to call it. Of all things, we both have the same lead as the same name. Yeah. So we eventually changed ours because the name of the movie was Billy the Third.
But fucking hanging out in Toronto with you and Farley.
That was great.
We had a couple weeks together.
What
up
a-
there. It
what
was
a
nice, I
unbelievable.
didn't know
Heyday,
that.
yeah. And then, so then you do all those movies that seem to work out.
You did
for
some
you.
movies. By the way, my wife and I watched,
we watched Hustle.
last night.
What'd you say?
Hustle.
You saw Hustle?
Loved it.
Yeah,
I think it's a great movie.
Yeah, we got to
Yes,
talk
man.
about
Thank
Hustle is a movie he's got coming out.
I got
and
a new
it's-
movie. Yes,
It's on Netflix, and
Netflix.
it's kind of like Hoosiers meets Rocky meets
Yes.
Moneyball.
Yes.
And you're
100%.
great in it.
Thank you.
I mean,
man.
really great.
Thank you.
It's just a
Thank you.
it's just a really you know
It's a
right? It really
cool
works
movie.
as a movie.
I can't-
I got teary eyed.
Yeah,
it got
man.
me.
That's
yeah.
so great, Dana.
Well, I mean, I don't
love
know how
you.
much we can give away. Adam's a basketball
Sports agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you were?
Coach.
I didn't
like
see it all.
Like a.
Adam works at Magic Mountain.
I watched it
think I saw a
twice.
different movie. No, Adam's you're a scout. Yeah, he's a scout, and then he's wants to be a
discover
coach.
a guy in Spain. I want to be a coach. I can't get on the staff, and I've been working for the Sixers for many years, and I find out. Yeah, you like the Sixers? I'm nervous about Joel there. I hope everything's.
Yeah.
That is a good team, though. But anyways, I discover a guy in Spain, Juancho Hernan Gomez. He's just he's an NBA player who never acted a day in his life,
Yeah.
and he's so fucking
He's,
good. It's
he's
crazy.
so
He was
great.
great
You
in
really
it.
believe he's just from this little village
Yes.
and really just has nothing going on. Beautiful jump shot. I knew it wasn't CGI.
Yeah, you knew it was
I mean, like
like
an
a real
amazing.
player.
Yeah. All
'cause
you think is how many times you got to do every scene he makes, every basket, and you go, is he making all these fucking baskets? Because I've been on sets where they're like, going again. I'm like, make it. Let's get the fuck out of here. But it's very hard to do that in all those
Yeah.
scenes where it's pivotal. He has to make it in a crowd with a crowd behind him. And you got all these NBA players in it.
Yes,
It's very real.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Heidi
Who's
Gar.
it?
Is it Heidi Gar?
Heidi's in it.
Oh, yeah. He's got an
Heidi
SNL,
Garner's in it. She
Oh, that's
cast
right.
member.
Yeah. Heidi Gardner.
She plays Robert
Yeah.
She did a
Duvall's
nice job.
daughter, who Robert Duvall owns in the movie, owns the Sixers.
Yeah.
And he has Ben Foster's his son and Heidi Gardner's his daughter, and they all work for the organization. And Heidi's
Yeah.
excellent in it.
Yeah, and she's great in it. And Duvall must have been huge to be in
That
the
was
same movie.
amazing, hanging out
That
with Duvall.
must have been. What
She
was that
shot
like?
the shit with Robert Duvall we were together 3-4 days. Did all our scenes together. We talked and
Yeah.
and sat. I sat he has a Rolls Royce in the movie. I fucking sat in the back of a Rolls Royce. Just talked about The Godfather. Talked about
Like in
everything.
between setups.
It wasn't like he just was cool. He was just talking about everything, and he's 90 something years old, and he was just a sweetheart, and he was great
What a
stories
brilliant
about James Caan, and he just fucking knows everybody.
See, that would just you're a fly on the wall at that point.
Yeah,
And he's
100%.
talking about The Godfather.
You talking about The Godfather, just saying the
You
first
try not
name.
to ask him about it. You're like, what other movies you do you liked? And he's like,
Sonny, the protection squad, Sonny, they're gonna help us. You always have that.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's all I got.
Well,
that
you
was a big-
also he
I could do
gives this.
Brando.
I think because the movie. I don't want to give anything away, but it kind of goes roller coastery. But you have to get on the phone, and it was like very great acting, solid scene where I was like, oh my god, that must have been hard to do, but like a tearjerker. There's a couple of scenes like that in there that are really get you into the movie. And that guy was the basketball player was great. Actually, remember I ran into you.
Yeah, we
golfing?
played golf with Juancho.
and you were with him, and
Yeah.
you go, yeah, this guy's in the movie, and then he was super cool then.
He's 6'9".
Yeah.
He's from Spain. Him and his brother are in the NBA. He plays for the Spanish national team. He's on the Utah Jazz now, and he just did it as a fucking joke because of the pandemic. They were like going around saying, we're looking for a basketball player. Adam Sandler's got some movie LeBron James is producing. And his sister said, why don't you do it just for fun? And he did it. He auditioned. We were like, geez, that guy's pretty damn good.
He's so good in it. It's amazing that he's a
he
stud.
did these scenes. Like when you have to do a real crying scene in a movie or something like that, I don't know about you. You cry a lot. I've seen that. But in real life, I don't cry that much. But on a movie set,
every day at 10 a.m.
when you have to cry in a scene, you're just like, oh my God, how the fuck is that going to happen? And whatever, you work hard. This Juancho did like 10 setups of different angles, blah, blah, blah. And he was just bawling, crying, and saying his lines perfect. I'm like, and he's a handsome fucking guy.
Yeah, he's a good looking dude. I was trying not to say that, but he is.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good looking. He can cry. He's got everything.
He's got it all. It's game over.
6'9", crying, handsome motherfucker.
I know.
6'10" and a half, actually. Sobs like a baby every day.
I started getting
Sized
angry.
13 feet.
Dana, I will give you guys a tip. If you're ever in a movie and you have to cry and it's hard to, you fake it and then you go like this.
And get glassy.
That was the end of Tommy Boy.
He's obviously crying. That's good.
It does work.
It's called great acting.
But Adam, I'm going to ask you a
Look into it.
question.
Yes.
Do you feel like, because you had Uncut Gems, that was pretty good, right?
Yes. Thank you, Dana.
So then I saw that, and then I see this one. It seems like you're I don't know, and the murder mystery movie. I mean, you're on a roll. I mean, are you feeling like you're more
Continuous
comfortable
roll since high
acting
school.
now? Are you changing up stuff because you seem to be at this other level, or is it just from doing it so much?
I think I'm getting older, more opportunities. Guys like the Safdie brothers.
Yes.
The Safdie brothers, who your brother, he kind of worked with them as
Help them get going,
help them get
They're
going.
great friends with Andy, and I met them, 12 years ago. They were talking about Uncut Gems then.
They
Uncut
were trying to
Gems.
get that going. Yeah.
I was sort of the muse for Justin because I met him 12 years ago. Uncut Gems. But those guys are super cool, very good.
They're
They
great.
did. I think they did a Kate Spade commercial that Andy
Is that
wrote.
how you guys met?
Yeah, and I think Andy wrote an idea and they did it, and then it somehow went to the Cannes Film Festival, and then they did a movie called, I think, Daddy Longlegs after that.
Yeah,
maybe.
an incredible
And then
movie.
they just kept getting, they were just better and better and better, and
Yes.
did yours, and maybe one day you'll do another one with them. They're
Yes,
fucking great
gonna
guys.
make another one. They're writing another one right now. But I lucked out. I'm getting to do all this great stuff. Noah Baumbach, PTA.
Yeah.
They all hooked me up. They all wrote great stuff. They asked me to be in it. Jim Brooks.
Paul
all
Thomas.
these-
Damn.
I lucked out. Yeah, Paul Thomas.
And then you
Anderson.
just get more relaxed over time, right?
you get
Or more in the pocket. Or,
you get. I guess I'm getting. I just did a movie with Johan Renck, and he did Chernobyl. He did the series
the
Chernobyl.
series, brilliant.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
incredible. And I played an astronaut in it, and the guy is fucking crazy in the movie and going through a lot of pain. And I went, yeah, just fucking do it and go and try your hardest. So that's all I do. I try my best, and the ones that don't work, they go, all right, we got to cut around that. But but I try to get as good as I can, and they make it work.
Is it ever scary? Because these guys do great movies or great TV show, and PTA obviously one of the
Paul
best.
Thomas Anderson.
One of the best ever.
Yes.
And then, but
He
you
is.
know PTA a little bit. But if you get lucky enough, you're paired up with some great director, and usually on sets like Grown Ups, those kind of movies, you have more of a say.
Yeah.
But if you have to kind of keep quiet somewhat, not totally, but and trust them. And do you ever get a feeling where you're like, I don't even know if this guy knows what the fuck's going on? I mean, that must be scary
These guys,
because they're so good, but you go, it's going to work. They know what they're doing. That must be hard.
you
though.
just go, you just give yourself to them because you know they're great, and you read the script, and you just don't want to let them down, and you jump in their world, and it is neat. It's neat, not I always feel more comfortable doing comedy. I'm always more at ease going, all right, we're going to go make a movie and have a great time and try to come up with the best jokes and make everybody laugh.
Yeah.
Love that. I'll love that the rest of my life, just like you guys. We're addicted to that. But the other stuff I'm getting to do, it's awesome. I know you both would crush at that also. It's just different. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a different day in the trailer. You don't go, what the fuck? Let me come up with a joke. You're kind of sitting there going, oh, I got to get in this mood right now.
Well, the jokes are kind of crutchy because you know how to do it. And if you have a scene that's not working, you go, I think we can figure a way out of this if we think of a joke or way out, which is what you do a lot on a comedy. But in these, you're like, this is just connecting. It's part of connecting the dots of the bigger picture. So not a lot has to happen right here. And it's hard to trust that.
That's
so
true.
Just do what it is. They'll figure, sometimes they add music or something and you go, oh, I see what they did. It's perfect.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
You don't know when you're doing it.
And then when you're doing it and it's not right, those guys tell you, whoa, 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 whoa. And you go, whoa. And you feel stupid for a second. You go, oh, I was giving you a little extra. And they're like, calm down.
Juice it up a bit there.
You're making it real good for the people. And they go, no.
Yeah. Believe me, they want to see.
Those are the brothers, right?
The Safdie brothers,
Safdie
their brothers.
brothers.
And
Uncut Gems.
Ronnie.
Dana, what else do you have for Adam? We got to take a few questions. We
I don't know.
keep all
I
night.
do think it's kind of cool that you did. There's so many movies, obviously. We talked to Drew Barrymore about 50 first
I heard
dates.
that. That was
very
sweet.
sweet.
Drew was great. Drew gave you answers that were incredible every time. Doesn't Drew automatically take even a half a question and she fucking goes?
And she's poetically does a 7-minute answer.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Beginning, middle, and end of every story.
She goes, I'm going to guess your next 3 questions, and here's the answers. When I went to SNL, we were like, okay, made it easier.
That was
Funny, Mike,
amazing, her
truth-
talking about being a little kid on SNL.
Oh, I know. Yeah, at age 7.
By the way,
hosting.
I've listened to, I think, every episode of your show.
You
man.
have?
I fucking love this show. It's the best.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for both of you. It's the greatest.
Well, it's fun to do because, we don't get to hang out with our friends that much. So this is our chance to,
I know, right.
The other one I wanted to ask you, did Anger Management, so you got to work with Jack Nicholson.
Yes.
Unreal.
And really got to know him.
Yes.
And you told a funny story about peanut butter just hanging out at his house.
Oh, yeah. That's right, man. My first day over, Nicholson's, I got there and he keeps the house dim. And so I'm sitting in this chair and Jack's sitting in this chair. We're facing each other about 5 feet away from each other and we're talking and shit. And I'm going, it's dark enough that I'm going in my head, I don't think this is Jack Nicholson. I think like they brought out a fake one to talk to me and see if I'm okay to talk to the real one. So I'm just going like this. And he's like talking quietly. And it doesn't sound like the impression everybody does, or whatever. Hey, man, let me tell you something. It's not like that. It's kind of like, yeah, man. It's kind of quiet and cool and was saying, man, I don't know. He just has a cooler voice, but I was not really believing it was him. And then I do like an hour of that. And then at the end of it, he goes, you hungry or something like that? I said, yeah, I could eat. He goes, you want a sandwich? And I said, yeah, that sounds great, man. And he's like, PB&J. And I go, that's fucking great. And then he gets up and walks away. And then he turns around, he looks at me and he goes, Skippy or Jif?
That sounds like.
I thought also that you went outside for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
And you were outside. He came out and he held up the jars.
Oh, that's what it was.
Said Skippy or Jeff.
That's right,
Such
man.
a funny image.
Oh, yeah,
So I remember your
Dude.
stories. 'Cause
Yeah,
that was
you're
a
better
very
than me, man.
I ran into him with Lauren, of course, with Lauren, and we had dinner, and he goes,
Jack.
and he comes. There's an empty seat. Is this stupid?
No.
Okay, so Lauren goes, we're gonna have some spaghetti, and I was with Rosie. She's over there. I was over here. And there's an empty seat, and Lauren sits here. So there's an empty seat, and Jack sits next to Rosie, and he starts talking. And then he goes, "One time, I went to the MTV Awards or something, or some
thing is, I ran out and it was so dark. I got in the wrong limo and I sat down, and everyone just stared at me, and it was Nirvana. And he goes, we're just, and we were in the wrong limo. I go, uh-oh. And then she goes, did they not know who you were? And he goes, well, that's never happened. Someone didn't know who he was.
Could I tell a quick Nicholson one?
Yeah.
Related to SNL. So Phil Hartman and John Lovitz and I are playing the par 3 in Studio City. So
Whitsett.
yeah, Winston. So we're on the green. We wave the guy on, and he shoots it out of bounds, and he walks over. We realize it's Nicholson. Right. So he walks up, and Phil Hartman had dubbed his voice in the movie The Border because they couldn't get a hold of Nicholson. And Phil's very respectful, and he goes, Mr. Nicholson, I dubbed your voice in the movie The Border. One beat, and he goes, no wonder it was my only stinker.
That's a good one, yeah.
As a joke.
Stinker.
All right, let's take some questions real quick. We'll get Adam out of here.
By the way, just so you know, before Nicholson did anger management, he called Lorne to see if it was. He had Lorne read the script.
Oh, really?
He goes, I just got to make sure.
See if it was funny or something?
Yeah, he goes, I like
really?
it. It makes me laugh, and let me just let
that's
Lorne.
cool.
He goes, he is the man. And Lorne
I skimmed it.
He went through it and gave it the blessing. So I owe Lorne for that too.
We owe Lauren a lot.
Yes.
And Lauren, you appreciate Lauren more and more every year you're away from the show. What he has to deal with, the egos, the politics, keeping the sensibility in a certain frequency. Because if he left, it could turn into hee-haw in a second.
Oh, man.
I mean, he likes smart. He likes big laughs. So there's a lot of respect for Lauren Michaels.
Very true.
Yeah.
All right, how are we going to do Q&A? How do we do it? Oh, they line up over there? Okay, line up with him. If anybody has a question, we'll do a couple, and then we'll get to...
Greg Holtzman.
We'll get you guys to the other 300 shows tonight. All right, here we go.
Hi there.
Oh, we're starting.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, young man.
Hey, buddy.
Thank you. So I was wondering, you were talking about like childhood things that you remember. What was the first like extravagant purchase you made when you sort of made it big?
That's a good question.
That's a good one. I got my leather jacket that you remember.
The black
I
leather
got
jacket.
a Police Academy movie, and I bought a $400 leather jacket that was too heavy, but I couldn't give it up. It was like a motorcycle one, and it hurt my neck, but I wanted to wear it. And then I think I wore it to the Improv when I was around Adam, and
The first thing you ever said to me was, can you unzipper me?
can you help me get it off? And I have to lay down now. That was it. Mine was leather jacket. Dana, what do you got?
What'd you get?
With my own money that I bought. I think I went out, my father had a green, dark green and light green 78 Cadillac Fleetwood or some shit when I was in high school. And my first big move, I went out to an old Cadillac place. They didn't have that color, but I got that same Caddy and had them paint it that color. That was like my big first move.
That's cool. That's
Big
better.
rich boy. How about you?
Can I
Ben?
change mine?
You must have got more than a leather jacket based on your home sales recently. Sorry, he did well. David invested well.
Yes.
What was your...
What'd you get?
my wife and I did a silly thing. We walked in Encino. We walked into a Mercedes dealership, and we bought Mercedes cars, like $100,000 cars. I bought a convertible coupe, and I drove it for like a week, and it had a plastic windshield. Like, what the fuck? So I took it back and got a sedan. That was just during my German phase. I
had a moment.
I have a Volvo now. It's very non-sexy.
What a loser. Go ahead. Next one.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the origins of your trademark, Adam Sandler voice, but you kind of already answered that.
Yeah.
But so my next question is, do your daughters do like an Adam Sandler impression? Like, do ever go like, they're all gonna laugh at you or whatever?
They don't do that. They don't know that album yet, but they both do the
Oh, yeah. I've seen him do that.
They do it. That's it. Every time I'm trying to be funny and it doesn't work, they go, That's funny that you asked that.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Sorry, I'm shorter. Hi guys.
Hi.
Big fan. My name is Shalise. I'm from Houston.
Nice to see you, buddy.
So my question is, what out of all the films you guys have, if you guys can go back and do a sequel to any of y'all's previous films, what would it be?
Shit.
Wayne's World 3. Wayne's
World 3.
Garth at 60.
Goes to
Wayne, I gotta get some Flomax. Yeah.
Flomax.
I don't know if it would work. Go ahead, Adam. Well, you've done so many movies. What would be the sequel?
What was the? I can't think of the name right now. With you did with Cage and Lovitz.
Oh, Trapped in Paradise.
Trapped in Paradise.
Yeah.
That'd be fun to just work with Nicolas Cage.
That was a tough shoot, wasn't
We
it?
fell down in the snow, and we just...
You were doing Brad Gray in that, right?
I was doing Brad Gray and Mickey Rourke. I don't know what you're doing, but I wouldn't do it, counselor.
I was doing Mickey Rourke. The studio flew in from L.A. We were in the middle of the woods in Canada and said, you got to stop doing that. Really? Yeah. But Nicolas Cage said, I would do it anyway. He was a great character.
I guess that's it, right? I don't know.
What would you do a sequel to? You have so many movies.
No idea.
Oh,
I
it's too many.
liked them all. I liked doing Grown Ups with Davey because we all hung out. We had
that was a great one.
Those
Grown Ups could work. Yeah, 3. Three.
Well, whatever it is, I like to do it with. It's always great when you're with your friends. Grown Ups, we literally got to do this every day.
That was a
Sit in
funnest.
chairs, hang out, try to be funny, and cut around it.
Yeah, that thing's been keeping the lights on at TBS for the last 7 years. It's on heavy rotation.
Yeah,
but I love it. I loved Grown Ups. That was
a
great,
smash.
great memories.
Yeah.
Thank you for that question.
Thank you.
Cheers! You guys are wonderful. This is amazing.
Thank you.
Hey, man.
My question, I suppose you guys have written for so many different, wonderful projects in both film and TV, and of course on Saturday Night Live. And my question was, do you think that to properly, master that sort of craft, do you think it's writing as much as you can, every day is really the proper way to get to a point where you feel comfortable with your writing? Or do you think also, I suppose, do you think it's also helpful to try and collaborate with other people that you know you'd work well with, or something?
Sounds a little like John Mulaney. This guy. I would say if I would take that, my first answer would be, if it's stand up, just get as much stage time as you can, and if it's writing, I think it's just more is better. Collaborating or writing by yourself, just anything you can do until something sticks, I would say.
Right. I remember I lived with Apatow when I was young.
Judd, great writer.
And Apatow, he was the first one of us that would write.
Yeah, he was smart about it.
He used to sit in his room and write skits all the time for Saturday. Even it wasn't on Saturday Night Live, but he would write kind of skits.
And he would collaborate with people, and he was smart. He made himself like a producer because that was a valuable thing to help someone do what they're doing, Jim Carrey or you.
Right.
Well, I would say, what is your name?
My name is Ambrose.
Okay.
All right, Ambrose.
That's all right.
It's a cool name.
That's a great Chardonnay. No, anyway. Ambrose, I would just say initially that seems like too much pressure to me to try to go in a room and stuff. If you're a comedy writer, just write everything down. That's what George Carlin said. So if you're out with your friends, a lot of times just taking a walk or going to a movie, someone will say something. Make sure you either record it or write it down. And just do it spontaneously all the time. And your headset gets into that.
Yeah, it's hard to just sit and write and be funny. It happens all day. And if you just write it when it happens and don't say you'll remember it later because you won't. So just write it. And then you collect it and go, is there anything here? Is there anything here? That stuff's very valuable.
You basically only need to write 5 good jokes your whole life, and then, like David, you use that the rest of your life.
In different ways. Yeah. It's a Spade roast.
It's all right.
Thank you guys so much.
Good luck.
Thank you, Ambrose.
All right. What do we got, boss?
Ambrose.
Hi. I have a favor to ask you guys. It's my nephew's 15th birthday, and I was born.
Go ahead.
It was my nephew's 15th birthday today, and I was wondering if I could make a video of you guys saying happy birthday to him.
Imagine if we said no and meant it.
Yeah.
Right now.
You know when to ask.
Take your minute.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
What's his name?
What's his
Roll it.
name?
Nicholas.
Nicholas.
And we're going to say,
Or do you want us to
everybody,
film it and then send it to
the
you?
whole theater sings happy birthday to Nicholas. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nicholas.
Yes.
Happy birthday to you. Nicholas. Thank you.
Trying to harmonize a little bit.
And it's my niece that... Oh, sorry.
Hey there, guys. My name. Holy shit.
It's testosterone man.
My name is Al, and I want to say that it's my grandma's dying, and it's her birthday day. And if we could sing happy birthday to her, that would be incredible.
All right.
What has changed, Nicholas?
What's her name?
No, but for real, this is such a fucking treat.
That's a good line.
This is such a fucking treat for all of us because you guys are all just such pillars of comedy.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
You too, David.
Thank you.
He's rolling.
Here's my real question. So, Adam, you know, as when you're watching you guys, we pretend we're you. We see ourselves in you and shit like that. So when you did Mixed Nuts with Steve Martin, and then when you did that scene with Philip Seymour Hoffman, being you in those moments is like fucking incredible. So how was it being you in those moments?
It was
Some
very
good,
cool.
Good co-stars.
That too. You're funny as shit, by the way.
Thank you.
Good
I'll
job.
be here tomorrow night. My name's Al Monero.
He's part of
the Netflix festival.
You got a great name for a comedian.
God, you're so psyched you followed Ambrose too. Like he's gonna take it down.
Ambrose is looking for pen and paper.
What, David? Did you tune out? David tuned out. So, Steve Martin, of course, all our heroes.
Yeah.
We
One
loved
of the
him.
greats of all time.
Idol.
All time.
Yeah.
First time Hall of Famer, Steve Martin.
Yeah. Probably the number one ballot for us, right?
Say it again?
He was probably our number one guy.
Memorized his albums.
His albums, Wild and Crazy
Yep.
Guy, all the shit Steve Martin did. So of course, being in a movie with him was just staring at him and waiting for like quiet moments to run over and say something, and if hopefully he'd respond. And so I love that, and he was very nice to me. And then Philip Seymour Hoffman, fucking great
Genius
guy,
actor.
great tour de force. That guy, he was just a very good, funny man. Took it serious, went hardcore, and when we worked together. By the way, Philip Seymour Hoffman, I don't know if you guys know this. So we're doing Billy Madison. I think we wrote, that Happy Gilmore. No, maybe Billy Madison. We wrote for Bob Odenkirk. Wrote that for Bob Odenkirk, the bad guy in the movie. And the fucking studio wouldn't allow it. They're like, you can't just have your friends. And we were like, no, he's fucking great. And they said no. And
Bob Odenkirk.
Bob
Don't you know?
Odenkirk, he was a writer on
Unbelievable.
SNL. So I think that's how it went. I think it's okay. So we wanted Bob. They said no. They put out you got to audition. Audition people. Philip Seymour Hoffman auditioned, and I was in Toronto getting ready to make the movie, and it still wasn't cast yet. I saw Philip Seymour Hoffman. I was laughing my ass off. I'm going, who the fuck is this guy? He's hilarious. So I tell the people, I show Universal, can we have this guy? Are you good with him? I mean, you fucking said no to Odenkirk. Are we okay with this guy? And they were like, and it took some talking into it, and then they said yes. Then we offered it to him, and we get this call back like, he doesn't want to do it. And we were like, he doesn't want to do it? What do you mean? He auditioned. And so I go, let me fucking talk to him, this guy, and tell him how great he is. And I called him up, and I said, hey, it's Adam. And he's like, oh, hey, Adam, blah, blah, blah. And I said, hey, man, I saw your tape. You're so great, buddy. And they said, you don't want to do it. And he goes, oh, thanks, man. I go, do you want to do it? And he goes, oh, I can't. I go, oh, why not? He goes, I just don't want to. And I go, oh, okay. You sure? We're going to have
That's
fun.
a great answer.
Isn't that great?
I don't want to.
I go, I really love you. And he goes, I know you do. I swear to God. I go,
Wow,
all right,
a lot
man.
of confidence.
Yeah. But
Awesome.
that was
Good
cool.
job.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Hey, when you get bored and you want to go to YouTube, go to Crypto Junkies Easy. I'll make you rich.
All right, hang on to that Cardenio and
Get
Dogecoin,
that fucking
brother.
Solana.
It's going
All
to the
right.
moon.
He's funny
Go ahead.
bastard.
Hi guys, my name is Denny. Just want to thank you guys. You guys are my comedy heroes. Moved out to LA for my pursuit of SNL as my dream. So I've been looking up to you guys my whole life.
Oh, that's sweet. Well, good
Are
luck,
you doing,
brother.
are you doing stand-up and stuff like that?
All over.
Where you
North
go?
Hollywood. I produce a show and
No
Oh,
way.
really? What's your name?
Denny Glasser.
Denny Glasser.
That's a great name.
Is it a
I'm gonna pass out. Thank you.
Is there a
Call
question
yourself
with this or no? Just,
Dr. Denny would be a good moniker.
One
Dr.
day-
Denny's in the house. I'm just saying.
Thank you. My only question I wanted to ask is, what was the first impression or character that you guys did that you knew you could do this for a career?
Oh, I could do Michael J. Fox real good. That was David.
What was yours?
My first impression
You
as
didn't
a
do many
kid,
impressions, did you?
I did. No, I used to do them around the house. I did the basic. I used to do Rich Little stuff. You know.
Yeah, me too.
John
Yeah.
Wayne and
John Wayne. Yeah.
Well, I used to wear a cowboy hat around the
Oh,
house.
really?
Well, I'll
Oh,
tell
my
you,
God.
I would do that like
Oh,
I would
my God.
cook for my parents. Who wants bacon and eggs?
Oh, gross.
I know. So,
Oh, my God.
yeah. How about you? Who was your first? Casey Kasem? You guys do that.
Checking in at number 5, the boss. Bruce Springsteen, a man and his guitar. A man who likes to call his guitar his own.
I was 9 years old. The Beatles came on Ed Sullivan. The next day, I walked up to my mom and I said, "Hey, do you think I could get me some pancakes?" She screamed. She didn't know what I was doing, but that was my first time I knew I could alter my voice is doing a Liverpudlian accent.
All right, well, good luck to you, buddy. Thank you for asking.
Love you
me.
guys. Thank you.
Love you, buddy.
Denny,
I think that's it, Dane. I think we gotta go.
You gotta go.
I don't
Thank
have any
you.
lyrics, so we
Everybody
Thanks,
stand up.
Adam Sandler.
Thank you. Love
Give
you
a round of
all.
applause.
Thanks,
Sorry about your
Dana.
questions. Thank you, guys.
you
Love
guys
buddy.
were awesome, and thank you
for
so
coming
much
out.
for coming out to the Wiltern. Adam
Bye.
Sandler.
Take care.
Bye, folks. Thanks, Dana.
Really
Love you
enjoyed
guys.
it. How you doing? That was fun. Thank you so much.
All right.